So good evening all of you. My name is Amil and I'll be taking Polity. See, since this is the first class, so first we'll be talking about certain basic things. Okay? The purpose of the class is actually two. First, that you should be very comfortable with the prelims, mains as well as personality test. Okay, that is the only thing. We are not here for any academic, intellectual. Getting my point now? You should be very, very comfortable with the question. Any question that can be asked, any question that is speculated. You may have seen me taking current affairs classes. I don't know. This is a new batch. Okay, so I ensure I'll try my best that whatever exams, question, prelims, mains and interview, you'll be very comfortable. Second thing is that there are students from diverse background. Okay, since I have been teaching, so I know that I have that experience. Whatever I've interacted with students, there are students from diverse background. Somebody has graduated in fisheries, somebody has graduated in technology, somebody has graduated in history. So maybe possible in first few classes, few of you will not be able to grasp the things. Believe me, this happens every time. After 5 and 7 classes, you would be on cloud 9. So you need to have patience before you arrive at any conclusion. I will always be there. This is just more than an academic exercise. I will give my best so that you all, whoever works hard, that is upon you, to the best of my ability, you will be comfortable with the paper. Okay, that is something which I must promise at the onset. Few basic things which I have been noticing after taking classes for so many years. Few basic things which I must always reiterate at the onset is that there are basic things which I'll be talking about. Anybody wants to interact with me after the class, any problem you have, without a shadow of doubt, you are welcome. We both are in the same team. I am here to make things easy for you. There is no hesitation. You can approach me. I want you to, and one very important thing, I am not here to give you fish, because if I give you fish, I feed you for a day. I am here to teach you fishing so that I feed you for lifetime. So you are already bombarded with ample of information, sea of information and books and all these things. My job is that to let you understand those things so that the demand of the examination, especially after 2018, they have already exhausted with factual part of the question. So they are asking questions which are conceptual. You should be very easy. At least for polity, I'll try my best. Okay. What do you think is the most important thing when you prepare for any exam? क्या है कोई बात एकदम आराम से will make it very easy. You'll understand me in 7-8 days. Okay, it will take 3-4 days. Be very happy. There is no stress. You can come to me, ask any question, any question. Okay, so first you think, what is the most important thing? Syllabus. Without a shadow of doubt, everywhere, Ahmedabad to Guwahati, Hyderabad to Kashmir, one thing which I have noticed that students who are preparing for 1 year or 2 years, they have not gone through the syllabus. So I think when you prepare for any exam, if you are a serious student, that is the first and foremost thing. What I very strongly recommend that you go and download the syllabus. For prelims part of the syllabus, they have not exhaustively detailed out. Why? They have their Indian political system, Panchayati Raj, rights issue, etc. Although etc. is very dangerous. Okay, etc. is very dangerous. See, the point here is that you should be this is a coaching. Okay, this is not a college where we intellectually discuss things. So you must be prepared, very comfortable in the examination hall. That is I always try. This time also, whatever questions we speculated, by the grace of God, we got at least 60-70 questions precisely in mains. Prelims, undoubtedly, I cannot profess anything. It is a sea of information. We can maximum speculate a particular area. Okay, that is something. So syllabus is something. Mains part of the syllabus, they have been more benevolent and kind. They have very exhaustively detailed out the syllabus of mains. Every single term that is mentioned in the syllabus, you will find some or the other way in mains paper. For example, they have mentioned pressure group as a single term. So they are asking, so whoever sets the question, what he has before him is the syllabus. So I strongly recommend, go and please download the syllabus in PDF format. Okay, PDF format, and paste at the workstation wherever you study, if you have started studying. Okay, so you just paste at the workstation. Always go through the syllabus. It is about, there are thousands of students I meet who have never come second in the class, from class first. Okay, never come, they don't know what is second, or they have never reached double-digit rank in college, school, but still they are not able to make it. Because honestly speaking, it is about Consistency. It is very simple, but it is very tough to be simple. It is very simple, but it is very tough to be simple. Having that consistently, there is a zeal within you, you will be consistent. If there is a love within you that you can give up everything, then definitely you will be consistent. So you need to be very simple, consistent, and undoubtedly in a competitive examination, strategy is a very important thing. So I will, whoever comes here to the best of their ability, they'll try to. And one more thing, we live in an era of bombardment of information. So it is more important to know what not to study. What not to study. Why? Because human beings are inquisitive by nature. So once you start reading something, so once you see what I am saying after interacting with 20,000 students. So I'm just trying to pour, I was thinking what I should convey at the onset, so that what is my experience I'll pouring before you. So you must be able to understand this very important fact, that we live in an era of bombardment of information and human beings are inquisitive by nature. So if you start loving polity, then you will start doing a second level research, primary sources and everything in polity. But UPSC wants you to love the tough part of geography also. UPSC wants you to love the technology part also. UPSC wants you to love ethics, integrity, aptitude also. UPSC is least concerned that if you like history. UPSC wants you to know ancient history also. UPSC wants you to know. So the problem with many of the students and their coterie, friends around, they feel that this person is very intelligent. This person is very intelligent in few things. You have to be consistently prepared for all the topics. They are equally important and you must give your 100%. If you like a subject, that is very good, but that's not the problem of UPSC. So you will be balancing your aspirations. Every subject is equally important and you must be scoring well. So first thing is syllabus. Undoubtedly, I will show the syllabus also when we start doing. Second thing, what do you think after syllabus? If you prepare for any exam, what you do? First you go through the syllabus. So mains ka syllabus download kijiye. Go through it very comprehensively. I have interacted with students with minimum effort. They have made it 200 rank, 150 rank. Oh, getting my point. So it is also about strategy. So you go and download the syllabus. Conveniently sit. This is a story of self-love. So if you love yourself, obviously you will be doing good. So how much you can go that far? So one thing is, please go and download the syllabus. What should be the second thing? Previous year's question paper. So you must, I don't know, there are different levels of students, so some of them find very convenient in write format, electronic format. But I feel that if you have a hard copy of a previous year's question paper, you can go through it and see the demand of the examination. That is something which is very, very important. You will see how UPSC is asking a question, any question. So second important thing is that you must have a hard copy of previous year's question paper. Go through them. Definitely that will be going to help you like anything. Spend time with yourself. Okay. After these two things, even if I don't say, the most important thing is NCERT. Okay, so what kind of questions UPSC asks? They know that students from Lakshadweep, students from Andaman, student from Arunachal Pradesh, student from Kanyakumari, everybody is preparing. So they will never ask a question keeping in mind a cafe of old Rajendra Nagar. Okay, so they will always prepare a question. So what kind of question they ask? They will not ask how many chairs are there in this class. They will ask that every day you come, how many doors are there in the class? So very simple question they will ask, and this is the psyche of UPSC. Very, very simple question, but in the examination hall, it is the test and perseverance and you will get trapped. For example, they will ask a question that, who is India's biggest trading partner? And they will write United States of America, then they will write People's Republic of China, and they will write EU, and then they will write Saudi Arabia. So there would be a discussion outside the examination hall between CSAT paper 1 and paper 2, and there would be discussion between US and China, but the actual answer is European Union, because collectively EU is a bigger trade partner. So UPSC never wants you to, they know that students are coming from diverse background. They don't want you to know something on a higher pedestal. Of course, if you have any optional or any such thing, if I can be of any help, definitely I'm from law background. Okay, public administration and political science, I get mail. To the best of my ability, if it is possible for me after the class, to the best of my ability, I'll help. Otherwise, what I want you should be very clear with the basics. From 2018, they have been asking questions from NCERT directly. So few NCERTs I very, very strongly recommend, especially one NCERT which has not been into such focus, but I feel every year they ask 1 or 2 questions. So the third important thing is NCERT. That is the most important thing. After previous year's question paper syllabus, there is NCERT. Next important thing is newspaper. See, you have an option of so many capsules every day, so many capsules and everything is there. So you are given feeded with current affairs. But you know what is newspaper? Newspaper makes you a different individual after 7-8 months. It is not about information, it is about development of your intellectual horizon. So it is definitely not about, you will be an entirely different human being. You will not even get to know. You will write a better answer if you have consistently be following newspaper. So as you have just started, I won't go into the debate of Indian Express versus what you call Hindu, New Zealand versus Australia, India versus Pakistan, or Argentina versus United Kingdom. I won't go into that, but Russia versus Ukraine. But I would, whichever newspaper you are comfortable, you feel that this newspaper meets my aptitude, I think that that is best for you. Almost all the newspapers, information is something which can be avoided. For example, God forbid there is a violent incident in Jammu and Kashmir. So that particular violence incident which may lead to loss of lives, but that is not important. The issue of Jammu and Kashmir is important. For example, there is a violence against women. So that is not important. Okay, what is important is the issue of the safety of women. So you must be able to demarcate between a particular incident, whether it is important from exam perspective versus the issue that is more important. So that should be the spirit. Okay. So please note down, if you wish, you can note down certain list of NCERTs, which I think you should go through. Okay. आपको भी कुछ NCERTs मालूम ही होंगी. हाँ? कुछ NCERTs देखा है आपने? जी? 6 to 12 मतलब कुछ नाम? कोई बात नहीं, बताइए. अच्छा. Political theory, class 11th, NCERT undoubtedly is the most important NCERT of late because UPSC is asking question from conceptual part. Every year they are asking question, what do you understand by liberty? What do you understand by equality, fraternity, secularism, constitutional morality, constitutionalism? They are asking conceptual questions because they have exhausted the fact part. Okay, so definitely I always try to emphasize about the conceptual point. Fact is there with you. Even if I won't say that the President of India should be a citizen of India, that is a basic minimum qualification, you all are empowered to go through that. Okay, so I think that please note down certain list of NCERTs. Please note down. You write, first you have Indian Constitution at work. Indian Constitution at work. Indian Constitution at work. Then you have second NCERT. That you have Indian Constitution at work. Then you have Democratic Politics Part 1 and Part 2. Democratic Politics Part 1 and Part 2. Okay. Then you have one more NCERT. So Indian Constitution at work, you will understand about the Constitution, basic, what is Constitution, how the Constitution came into being, all these basic things. And you will also understand the basic concept. I will try that I take everyone along. There would be students in the class who have law background. Undoubtedly, we can discuss after the class also. But there are also students who come from medicine graduate, who are medicine graduates. So I have to take everyone along. So the next NCERT is political theory. Political theory. So you have Democratic Politics, Part 1, Part 2, Political Theory. One NCERT which I feel that if you want, it will help to broaden the horizon of your intellectual understanding. That is Politics in India since independence. Okay. But important one is Indian Constitution at work, Political Theory, and Democratic Politics Part 1, Part 2 is also important. Please write Politics in India since independence. Okay. Okay. So let's start now. Okay, syllabus, I very earnestly request who all are serious about the exam, please go and download the syllabus in the PDF format. Whenever you read a particular topic, undoubtedly you must be able to relate कि ये topic कहाँ से पूछ रहा है. That is something which you must be able to relate. कि ये topic, if there is a topic that is appearing consistently in newspaper, it is related to which paper 1, paper 2, paper 4, you must understand. ठीक है. So now we will be venturing into the academic domain. Okay, I don't want, मतलब वो सब lecture, डू हार्ड वर्क, जिसको करना है करेगा, ठीक है, जिसको नहीं करना है वो भी सीख के जाएगा, ठीक है. So either you learn or you fail. Okay, but if you have that passion, this is a story of self-love. Okay, there is one thing which is common in all the successful aspirants, ki there is undoubtedly there is an element of self-centricism. Okay, and you may not call it selfish or whatever you will call it. So at least 700-800 तो मैं जानते ही हूं, तो मैं ये क्या, there is an element of self. You cannot be emotional. Okay, that is a not that emotional, but you must be self-centric. Your goal is primary for you. Anything that is there is secondary. Okay, so we have constitution. Before we start, acha online bhi hai, and if we crack a joke, we don't share, that also becomes a problem. Okay, previous year's question paper, which resource or books? Okay, so अब PSI or optional आ गया, NCERT book. Okay, sir, Lakshmikant. अच्छा, Lakshmikant. See, Lakshmikant is actually not an academic book. Lakshmikant क्या है? Lakshmikant is basically, without a shadow of doubt, one of the best compilation of notes for any competitive exam from LDC to UPSC. So it is the best compile. Have you seen any academic approach in Lakshmikant? It is, what is the qualification to become president of India? Point wise. What are the powers of president? Legislative powers. Executive. So it is not an academic book in the sense, if you are prepared, anybody, so many students from law background, you ask them, if you say in the class that, if the faculty asks you that which book you are referring to, if you will say ki Lakshmikant, so it will be Lakshmikant. Okay, so please understand this, ki it is not an academic book. Undoubtedly, it is a very beautiful compilation to understand the demand of the examination from any competitive perspective. It will prepare you for polity prelims stage. Undoubtedly, the facts have been very beautifully arranged. But UPSC, I don't know, unpredictable Public Service Commission, at times they target, okay, a particular text. So conceptual understanding, I think, is very important. This was not the case if we would have interacted before 4 or 5 days. Okay. Thank you, Sudhir. Okay, so 4 or 5 days if we would have interacted this 5 years back. Now they are asking conceptual questions. Lakshmikant, see, every class, even if I take a small part, I'm taking PRIs, I start with constitutional morality, constitutionalism. The first question that was asked in 2021 was, the exam that was conducted on 8 January 22, what do you mean by constitutional morality and what are the important cases of Supreme Court? In many batches, when I was dictating cases, some of them were like, case, mat kijiye, UPSC थोड़ी आ रहा है घर पे. So बोलने के लिए कि भाई please, getting my UPSC is not visiting your place. So I will be giving cases. All those cases undoubtedly UPSC will not ask. In all these years, they have directly not asked cases in GS. They have only asked one time, that is IR Coelho case, they asked 3 years back. Otherwise, they don't directly ask cases because you are not having law optional. Okay. But undoubtedly, the UPSC is expecting you to write certain cases. When you are talking about women, you will be writing about Young Lawyers Association, Sabrimala, or you will be talking about so many things. So undoubtedly, Shaira Bano case, Shah Bano case, Sarla Mudgal case, so many cases, John Vallam Atom case. So UCC, if you are talking about, so few cases, if you write, undoubtedly, your answer would be more impressive. At the end of the day, you are communicating with the examiner through your answer script. The examiner doesn't know you, who are you, you are from which linguistic, ethnic, caste, religious background. There is an answer script kept over there. It should be extremely beautiful to invoke his interest. So what you can do, you can go through the answer scripts of the toppers uploaded on the website of Vision. Some things have become very easy. Very recently, I was communicating with a dear friend. He said ki now things have become, he's quite senior. He said ki in our time, everything we have to work. Now everything is just given to you. So you are communicating with the examiner through your answer script. So your answer script should be very, very impressive. There is a guideline how you can make. Everybody has a different strategy, but undoubtedly they have uploaded the answer scripts of toppers on the website of Vision IS. So what you can do, you can go through it, that if there is a topic related to health, so what is the approach that they are taking? If you ask me, there are 200 or 250 topics that consistently keep on coming. If they are in current affairs, you can very easily speculate at least 12 to 13 questions out of 20 in mains that you can prepare directly, that will be there. Okay, what CBI was in news, They have asked. Constitutional morality was quoted by Supreme Court in Government of NCT of Delhi versus Union of India 4th July 2018 case. They asked. Then this constitutional morality was also there in Navtej Johar case. So they asked. So the term constitutional morality was obviously in news. It was directly reflected on 8 January 2022. Then CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation, general consent that was taken by many states. So CBI vis-a-vis federal character was asked as a question. Women judges were elevated to Supreme Court, and happily we would be having first female Chief Justice of India. That was also an important issue. So that was a very celebratory moment for our country. So undoubtedly that also, no civilization can march ahead leaving behind half of its population. So it is, so this was always in news. So you found that in your mains paper. Don't you think that anybody who could have speculated would have arrived at the conclusion that these questions would be there? So you must spend time with you, speculate, exam would be very easy. Okay. So first thing, so all these things, okay. You must remember, go and download the syllabus today, previous year's question paper, NCERTs and newspapers. Okay. Newspaper में एक छोटी सी बात है कि if you are reading the Hindu, sometimes you may also find a very good article in Indian Express. So ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि अगर पढ़ लेंगे तो बीमार पड़ जाएंगे. Getting my point? So if you are getting an article, at least you know what is an article. For example, if I am taking a class, so in this 3 hours class, I am bringing all my experience into here. So if somebody is teaching something for 25 years, the moment you open your mouth before your research guide, so he will tell you have read from this particular topic. So when somebody is writing an article of 2500 words, he is actually bringing his 25 years of experience into that piece of paper. So it is a very rich literature. So you are getting, summing up all the information that is available for you. So other newspapers also, if you find an important article from federalism, any such thing, that will definitely enhance your answer. So you refer to one newspaper, whichever you feel like. The other newspaper, if you get an information that there is some article, you may also refer to those articles. Okay, now we have the most important thing, that is constitution. Lakshmikant, I told you, ki Vision IAS material, since it has been prepared with what you call, don't think that I'm promoting, like, but I'm honestly telling, from mains point of view, it has been prepared with extreme hard work and a sensible team of more than 150 people working only on that. During the second wave, we all were sent the Vision IAS material. All of us went through it multiple times, and there are n number of cases. So there is a psyche that many students don't refer, but I, especially for prelims, I feel that for mains part of the examination, it is extremely, extremely rich. Extremely rich with all the cases that are there. If you sync that with current affairs, you will write a very, very beautiful answer. Lakshmikant undoubtedly is a very good book, I cannot say but it is only restricted to prelims. That too conceptual question, if they will ask you immediately, they will trap you. Every year they trap, for example, the oath of the president says, I will preserve, protect and defend the constitution. Then they ask the question that who is the custodian of the constitution. So going by the oath of the president that I will preserve, protect and defend the constitution, many students opted for president. So intellectual, for that you are coming here. For your intellectual, whatever development, you are coming here. So Lakshmikant on that part is, I think, a little bit short of that. Okay, so that is also addressed in Vision material. You have a very, very strong app. So you can refer Vision IAS material, printed material. If you feel like from factual perspective, you can refer that also. But from mains perspective, undoubtedly, Vision IAS material is very, very important, along with current affairs classes and of course the class notes, which I will also give. Polity is one such subject where you have a very standard book. Everybody is studying, so I cannot deny the existence of a book that is very beautiful and it has precisely what you call compiled everything. But I will ensure that you play with that. And one last thing, very important. We are not discussing Lakshmikant in the class. We are discussing Indian Constitution. So for me, the primary source is important. Anything that is written in Lakshmikant is, I respect that. Any book, for me, I will be all the time, I'll be referring to the Constitution. So we will be primary sources will be. Whenever we are talking about a law, I will show you the law. We have technology at our disposal that I'll be showing you. So we are, for example, many terms which are for your convenient. If you read Article 111 of the Constitution, they have not used the term absolute veto, pocket veto, suspensive veto or any qualified veto. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में नहीं है, बट फॉर योर कन्वीनियंस इट इज मेंशन्ड इन द बुक. For example, when we are talking about majority, nowhere it is special majority, effective majority. Article 368 doesn't talk about that. But for your convenience, it is clubbed. For example, we are talking about directive principles of state policy. From Article 35 to Article 51, nowhere they have classified that this is a Gandhian principle, this is a liberal intellectual principle, and this is a socialist principle. But for your convenience, the book has classified so that if there is a question in prelims, you would be able to answer. So if there is a difference of opinion between the two, without a shadow of doubt, we will be referring to the constitution and anything that is, for example, in the book, they have used the term impeachment for judges. Okay, we cannot use the term impeachment for anybody other than the president. We will always use the term removal for judges, and we will reserve the term impeachment only for the president of Indian Republic, because that is what is given in the constitution. So if there is a difference of opinion, we'll be referring to the constitution, and UPSC shall also be referring to the constitution. Okay, okay. If you have any question, please ask. क्या हुआ बताइए, आराम से हाँ बोलिए थोड़ा जी. अच्छा, एनसीईआरटी आप ठीक है, लिख लीजिए क्लास तो आप देख लीजिएगा, एनसीईआरटी पता चल जाएगा. वो पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी 11th की है, ठीक है. डेमोक्रेटिक पॉलिटिक्स 9th 10th की है, ठीक है. देख लीजिए, 3-4 बुक्स हैं, आप देख लीजिएगा, ठीक है. और कुछ न्यूज़पेपर या कुछ और आप पूछना चाहें तो बताइए. हाँ, एक एक करके बोलिए. आप अगर मुझसे मिलिएगा जो भी, टू द बेस्ट ऑफ माई एबिलिटी, आई विल डेफिनेटली हेल्प यू. आई ऑलवेज लीव आफ्टर द क्लास, आफ्टर एन आवर. वो आपको कुछ दिन में, आप 5-6 दिन क्लास कीजिए, फिर आपको खुद समझ में आ जाएगा, ठीक है. बस मैं ये कहूंगा 5-6 दिन आप कीजिए, फिर ठीक है. हाँ पूछिए. हाँ हाँ, सबसे पहली बात है, अगर आप विजन आईएएस का मटेरियल रेफर करते हैं, इफ यू रेफर टू विजन आईएएस मटेरियल, दैट इज अ कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव थिंग. But what I have learned over my experience, that even if UPSC releases a note that Vision IS material, they will be asking questions, then also you will go and buy Lakshmikant. So I don't try to hide things. I try to be realistic. There is no inhibiting factor between us. We both are in the same team. If I'm not able to make exam easier for you, there is no point of me staying, sir. इसीलिए मैंने honestly बोला कि अगर आप लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ रहे हैं, ठीक है, even if I don't say, you will go and buy, because somebody will say without Lakshmi. So it's like, so somebody will say and you will go and buy. If you have bought and you are referring to that text, then Vision IS material, at least you should go through from mains perspective. It is very good. I would say from prelims perspective also. But if you are referring to Lakshmikant, I don't have a problem. Mains ke liye, whatever topic you can get as an add-on material, Supreme Court cases, conceptual analysis, iske liye you can refer. Okay. From where we'll get the best, we will refer to that. Okay. If you have bought, it is very good. You can go through it, and from mains perspective, you can refer to Vision IS material also. ठीक है, पूछिए आप. Bare acts मतलब क्या है? Acts which are bare, यानी without, what is a bare human, bare animal, without any addition, without wearing anything. So bare act का मतलब होता है कोई भी law जो एकदम common है, कोई भी law जिसके ऊपर commentary नहीं है, बस law as it is. So for example, you have constitution. So constitution के ऊपर commentary नहीं है, constitution के provisions. Getting? So it is bare act of the constitution. It is bare. मतलब there is no commentary, सिर्फ constitution का text. So उसके लिए previously when we were in college, so we used to have PM Bakshi. Okay. But now you have so many apps. You have so many apps. So you may download any app. फिर वही मैं कौन सा use करता हूँ, सब अच्छा है. ठीक है. तो आप कोई भी constitution का app download कर लें. Any app that you feel like. There are few good apps. You can see that maximum number of downloads. It is a bare act. Whenever I teach a particular article of the constitution, you will definitely be referring to that. I very strongly recommend कि all of you from the next class, अभी सब मत download कीजिए. From the next class, please download an app of the constitution. Every time we will be referring to the constitution. Whenever it is possible, I will show you on the board. And if it is not possible, okay, that technology or any such, so you have the app. So aap constitution ka bare act means any particular act as it is, without any commentary, without any addition. They may add certain cases, so that is bare act. So आप constitution का app download कर लीजिए, क्योंकि UPSC will be referring to the कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, ठीक है। तो इसी को बेयर एक्ट बोलते हैं। एप्स हैं, बहुत अच्छे अच्छे एप्स हैं, पीपल आर वर्किंग फॉर यू, सो यू कैन डेफिनेटली डाउनलोड एनी ऑफ दोज एप्स। ऐसे भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, तो आई थिंक यू शुड बी प्लेइंग विद इट, बिकॉज एज अ सिटीजन ऑल्सो यू शुड हैव, क्योंकि इफ दे आस्क यू व्हाई डू यू वांट टू जॉइन सिविल सर्विसेज, इमीडिएटली यू वुड से सर बचपन से, सो लाइक देश, देश सर देश, so then they will ask, okay, what do you think about fundamental duties, sir, next year. So the point is, so you, if you don't know about constitution, you must be vigilant, and there is a conscious duty to be aware of the constitution. From article 1 to 395, from UPSC perspective, every single article is not important, but undoubtedly you should have an understanding of the constitution and the topics. Okay, so let's start now. ठीक है, हाँ पूछिए पूछिए। आवाज आपकी थोड़ी कम है। स्टैंडर्ड बुक, फिर से कह रहा हूं, इफ यू आर रेफरिंग लक्ष्मीकांत, आई डोंट हैव अ प्रॉब्लम, ठीक है। इफ यू हैवंट बॉट एनी बुक, देन यू प्लीज डू द बेसिक्स, okay, it is very simple and it is tough to be simple. Whatever Vision IS has provided you, the material, it is extremely good, extremely good, and I cannot be lying over here, because for me it is more important that you qualify. Okay, I'm both for prelims and mains, they have worked very hard, every single thing is put out, but I know ki after 2 months you will, so even if you buy, that's not a problem. I will recommend Vision IS printed material and class notes. Undoubtedly, I should be honest ki everything I cannot dictate, okay, because it takes hell lot of time, and I want this 3 hours to be extremely productive, extremely productive. I am personally against, so I will give you certain printed notes as and when I feel like, क्योंकि if I am dictating what are the 7 functions, so it will take half an hour. Okay, so I think कि आप Vision IS का material refer कीजिए, जो भी चीजें I feel from current affairs, I'll be very exhaustively venturing into current affairs, वो मैं आपको जरूर लिखवाऊंगा, and basics also. But I must be honest, everything it is not possible for me to dictate, क्योंकि फिर 3 महीना लगेगा dictate. That is why there is a team working and giving you a printed material. So you can first complete all the NCERTs. आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग योर, सबसे पहले तो एनसीईआरटी, कोई बुक छूना ही नहीं है until you have completed your NCERT. First you complete your NCERT, then you start with Vision IS material. Whatever we discuss in the class, you will do. If you have bought Lakshmikant, I would like to read, you can conveniently switch to Lakshmikant also. But from mains perspective, I will again recommend Vision material is extremely good. Okay, and that you will understand after 1-2 mahina, you will be, you yourself would be able to gauge things. Okay, so you will be, okay? Any other question? पूछिए, ठीक है. So let's start. Let me first. Okay, repeat the, okay. So what should be the polity PSI here? Democratic politics. So Indian Constitution at work, democratic politics part 1 and 2, political theory, politics in India since independence. Bare acts are helpful or not? Nishant is asking. Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly, bare acts are very helpful from exam perspective. For so many provisions, for example, Article 50 says, judiciary shall be separated from executive. यहां तक तो सुन लिया, कॉमा के बाद कहता है from public services of the state. So Article 40 says that state shall establish village panchayat. इतना ही याद रहेगा, कॉमा के बाद कहता है and empower them. So endow them with such powers and functions that they enable them to function as units of self-government. So what is the most important term for me in Article 40 is self-government. So undoubtedly the constitution will help you. Precisely you will understand, devil lies in the detail. So you will have a better understanding if you have bare act. Bare act मतलब constitution का bare provisions without any commentary. Although they add certain cases, क्योंकि कई बार ऐसा होता है कि for example a constitution amendment is done. Okay, amendment मतलब any change. Okay, so if a constitution amendment is done and that is struck down by the Supreme Court, ठीक है, जैसे 99th Constitutional Amendment Act added Article 124A, Article 124B, Article 124C, and Article 124 also was amended. 99th time when we amended our constitution, 99 बार जब हमने अपना constitution amend किया, Article 124 change किया, 124A को लाया नया, B को लाया और C को लाया. Amendment मतलब bringing any change. Understanding this? Okay. अब on 16th October 2015, सुप्रीम कोर्ट एडवोकेट्स ऑन रिकॉर्ड एसोसिएशन वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया केस में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने पूरा 99th कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट को, इंटायर 99th कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट वाज डिक्लेयर्ड एज unconstitutional. But if you will download the constitution from the Ministry of Law and Justice website, you will always find the new version, the amended version. Because even if the Supreme Court strikes down a piece of legislation from the constitution, the Supreme Court cannot amend the constitution. It will be there as it is, but there would be an asterisk mark, and niche they will write that this provision has been declared unconstitutional on 16th October 2015 in Supreme Court Advocate on Record Association versus Union of India. So the court can declare a particular provision as unconstitutional, but whenever you download the constitution from the ministry's website, you will find that provision. Who can delete that from the constitution? Who can delete that? Only the parliament can delete that. Okay. So first we will see what basically is constitution, a very basic things. Okay. 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 So first you tell me that who prepared this constitution? Huh? Okay. So let's leave that. First we will understand difference between a basic ordinary law and constitution. I'll be taking few more questions from online students. Vishaga guidelines. Okay. How to know which article is important? This is a very common question. Koi bhi article is appearing every time in news. This is a very common question which student ask, that from article 1 to 395, even if you ask a Supreme Court senior advocate, he's going 372. So he will not be able to answer. Whichever article we are discussing time and again, it automatically becomes important. You will yourself get to know that this is important. It is not state PSC like they are asking a question that what is article 330 or when polio was launched 25th March, 26th March, 27th March, 28th March. So UPSC at least is not asking because the demand of the examination is different. So they will not be asking you that brutal fact that what is the difference between article 13 clause 1 and clause 2. They will not be asking. Whatever articles we are referring time and again, undoubtedly it becomes important. Okay. So class notes, of course, only Vision IS notes and NCERT would be enough. Undoubtedly, it is enough. And I'm not lying over here. It is absolutely enough. Vision IS printed material and NCERT along with newspaper and class, whatever we discuss. And of course, I'll be giving you class notes. Okay. So PM Bakshi, undoubted, it's a beautiful book, Constitution. But PM Bakshi, up to you have the app na. Why will you carry a constitution? We used to carry hard copy of that text when we were in college. Abhi to you have an app. So you can download the app of the constitution and go through that. How online students can contact you? Okay. This is a universal question. Okay. Okay. Sir, I've already studied NCERT so that I can mug up entire Vision IS material. Okay. Okay. So first basic thing. Many of you know also, but it is my duty to take everyone along. Ordinary law, you understand. For example, there is a library. Okay. In library, at the center of the library, there is a book that is kept. Okay. In the center of library, there is a red book that is kept. Okay. But everywhere along, you have thousands of other books. Okay. But every book that is there in the library must be in harmony with this book. ये book जो है वो सबसे important है. बाकी जितनी books हैं, they must be in harmony with this book. Okay. If they are not consistent with this book, they all will be kept out of the library. Okay. So this is one book that is kept at the center, and there are 1,000 other books that are kept in the shelf. Exactly in the same way, you just imagine that there is a transparent, what you call transparent box in which a red book is kept, and there are thousands of books across. So these thousands of books are ordinary laws. They are not constitution. So what is an ordinary law? Even before the constitution came into being, constitution कब आया? बताइए, कब आया constitution? When 26 January 1950, the constitution came into being. Article 394 of the constitution says that some parts of the constitution related to citizenship, article 5, 6, 7, 8, and also related to election commission of India, article 394, came into being before. Some part of the constitution came into being on 26 November 1949 only. You're getting my point? Citizenship, Election Commission, ये सारे provisions जो हैं, Article 394 of the Constitution says, ये 26 November 1949 को ही लागू हो गए. These came into force on 26 November 1949, but 95% of the Constitution came into being on 26 January 1950. Okay. So you have a constitution that is one particular book. Okay. One particular book, एक book है ना. So ये book जो है, इस book के आने से पहले, before the arrival of this book, did we have ordinary laws? Yes. इस book के आने से पहले भी the country was running or not? Yes. So you have Indian Penal Code 1860. You have Land Acquisition Act 1894 as amended in 2012. So you had ordinary laws, Industrial Dispute Act 1947. You have Code of Civil Procedure 1908. So there were hundreds of laws that came before the Constitution. And there are hundreds of ordinary laws that have come after the Constitution. Like you have Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Like you have Code of Criminal Procedure, like you have so many laws, Right to Information Act, like you have Right of Traditional Forest Dwellers Act, like you have Companies Act 1956 as amended. So there are hundreds of laws, like you have essential that farm laws. So all these Citizenship Act 1955 as amended time to time. So please listen to me carefully. Even before the Constitution came into being, there were hundreds of laws. Even after the Constitution has come into being, there are hundreds of laws. But these laws are ordinary laws. If these laws are not consistent with the Constitution, the Supreme Court will declare them as unconstitutional. So you understand the difference between an ordinary law and the Constitution. Like you have, okay, like अब सुनिए, जैसे X ने Y का मर्डर कर दिया, okay? So X ने Y का मर्डर कर दिया, X murdered Y. So did murder started after the Constitution came into being? No, पहले भी होते थे. So you have Indian Penal Code 1860. IPC 299 defines murder. What is murder? Is defined in IPC 299, and the punishment for murder is prescribed in IPC 302, section 302. So Indian Penal Code was there from 1860. 1860 1947 से पहले आया, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है. Okay, so you have 1860 before 1947. So these were the ordinary laws that were in force even before the Constitution came, or after the Constitution has come. Every session of Parliament you have 5 or 10 laws that are passed, but Constitution is the fundamental law of the land. Means all other laws must be in harmony with the Constitution and must be in perfect sync with the Constitution. So you see this, then I'll show you Constitution also. You have Indian Penal Code, IPC 1860. You have Code of Civil Procedure 1908. You have Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Okay, initially it was passed in 2005 and later changed. Then you have Right to Education Act 2009. Then you have Land Acquisition Act 1894. So even before the Constitution came, there were many laws. Okay, after the Constitution has come, there are many laws, Citizenship Act, but these laws are ordinary laws. They are not Constitution. But Constitution is one book that is the fundamental law of the land. What is it? It is fundamental law of the land, means all other laws must be in हार्मनी विद द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल दूंगा. अभी आपको हो सकता है कुछ लोगों को, सम ऑफ यू मे नॉट अंडरस्टैंड, यू विल अंडरस्टैंड विद इन फ्यू डेज, कि देयर इज एन एक्ट, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एक्ट 2000. सो व्हेन इट वाज पास्ड, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एक्ट 2000 वाज पास्ड इन विच ईयर? 2000. ठीक है. सो common sense is not that common. Okay, so you have Information Technology Act 2000 was passed in the year 2000. There is one section, section means within the act numbering होती है ना, that numbering is a section. So there is a section, section 66 capital letters A. Okay, section 66 capital letters A unnecessarily gives more power to the police to file an FIR and create an offense okay, against a person who transmits an information over internet. समझ रहे? For example, you are writing a Facebook post. आप एक ने एक Facebook post लिखा, दूसरे ने Facebook post को like कर दिया, second person. So actually what happened was, over the technology you have used, so it gives power to the police to treat you, to file a case against you under certain circumstances. So the Supreme Court, there was a law student, Shreya Singhal. She approached the Supreme Court that Section 66A of IT Act 2000. IT Act is an ordinary law. It is not constitution. So Shreya Singhal approached Supreme Court that Section 66A of Information Technology Act 2000 is against Constitution of India Article 19(1)(a, freedom of speech and expression. ठीक है? So there is a conflict. Freedom of speech and expression is not absolute. Absolute का मतलब आप कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं. We are not United States of America, wherein Texas versus Johnson, one man was burning the flag of USA. So there was a case, Texas versus Johnson. He burned the flag of USA. So the case went to Supreme Court. US Supreme Court ruled that burning the flag of USA is one of the freedom of speech and expression of that individual. So we have our own challenges. So we have our own challenges, population and diversity, ethnic, linguistic. So we have, our constitution reflects our aspirations, and we have been performing exceedingly well. Democracy is entrenched in blood. Anybody you see angry will never say that I am going to kill someone. He will say election aane do. So that spirit of democracy from India, the next democracy is at Mediterranean coast. What do you think? Liberty, equality, fraternity we have got for free. It is the blood soaked of the freedom fighters that we have got liberty, equality, fraternity. You tell me one country from here till Mediterranean coast where you have liberty, equality, fraternity, freedom of speech and expression. So it is soaked in the blood of our freedom fighters, that the kind of liberty that we are enjoying. So it is not that easy that we can speak anything only because our beautiful constitution and country permits that. It is very easy to criticize. Just close your mind and think. In China, once in 2008, Beijing Olympics was being conducted. So there was a bird net stadium they were creating. It's a very beautiful stadium. So there was an environmental issue. So many people started protesting that this is an environmental issue. So Chinese authorities said, okay, whoever has a concern, will address that. So all those local people who have a concern, please give it in writing. Okay, we will look into it. They all gave applications. They all were arrested and released after the Olympics. Because they thought that whenever the tourists would be coming, these people will actually be protesting. So the liberty, equality, fraternity, all the values that we have got from the constitution is because of the hard-earned freedom that we have. I think we must revere and cherish that. It's not that easy. Okay. So just I'm giving you an example. Now coming back to the topic. So a lady wrote a post over Facebook. Another lady liked that post. Okay. They both were arrested. They both got bail. So a law student moved Supreme Court that Section 66A of Information Technology Act 2000 is in conflict with Article 19(1)(a of the Constitution. Article 19(1)(a is also not absolute. Restrictions can be imposed. We will see. But restriction se pehle ek word hai. Reasonable restriction. Restriction should be reasonable. So Supreme Court ruled in Shreya Singhal versus Union of India case that IT Information Technology Act 66A section is in conflict with Article 19(1)(a of the Constitution, and if there is a conflict between an ordinary law and Constitution, what will happen? That ordinary law will be declared unconstitutional. So you understand the sacrosanct nature of the Constitution. So we will see what is a Constitution. You just need to give time. Okay. So Constitution is the fundamental law of the land. All other laws must be subservient to the Constitution. I will draw the diagram of the Constitution also, like an R.S. Agarwal book, so that you understand. Okay. So we have ordinary laws. Okay. We have Lipakshi is asking for previous year's question paper, both pre and mains, which publishers compilation is good and recommended. Publisher, so I cannot like promote anybody. Okay. So anything by your wisdom, whichever you, I think do we provide, we have the previous year's question paper in the Vision IS printed material. We have whenever, as and when, but any publisher which you feel, see, question ka compilation mein publisher kya karega? if there were 20 questions that were asked in 2022 8 January, so a publisher, why would not be changing it? He would keep it. Why? So answers, I don't think you should recommend from the publisher, because there are, I don't think. तो क्वेश्चन के लिए तो मेरे ख्याल से आप कुछ भी ले सकते हैं, और प्रीलिम्स में तो OMR शीट दे गिव, they have not started allowing you to write. नहीं सर, इसका मतलब ये था, तो चेंज कर दें. So you have to write whatever is the answer. So go through the prelims, whichever publisher you feel. I know that you have a question that is quite genuine, पर कोई भी publisher मेरे ख्याल से जो bare question papers only, analysis I feel कि बहुत wrong, मतलब we live in an era of misinformation also. So I think the analysis you should develop from the standard text or the visionized material. I don't think you should go through any publisher. Okay, I personally feel that. Okay, so what is a constitution? I'll compare it with an R.S. Agarwal maths book. ठीक है? मैथ्स नहीं, क्वांटिटेटिव एप्टीट्यूड. सीसेट में मैथ्स पूछता ही नहीं है. इट इज लाइक क्वांटिटेटिव एप्टीट्यूड. इफ यू प्रैक्टिस आफ्टर अ वीक और सो, आफ्टर 5-7 days, you will start enjoying that. And people like fear. It's not maths. Maths is like different, calculus, algebra, quantum. Yeah. Anyways, so we have R.S. Agarwal maths book. Compare that with the Constitution of Indian Republic. Okay. So in R.S. Agarwal maths book, very basic. ठीक है? What do you have in the quantitative aptitude book? क्या होता है इसके अंदर? Chapters होते हैं. Percentage, profit and loss, time and work. You have chapters. होते हैं कि नहीं? ठीक है? So you have profit and loss. You have percentage. You have time and work. Okay. You have simple interest. फिर compound interest भी आएगा ही. So you have all these things. So you have a chapter in R.S. Agarwal maths book. In every chapter you have questions. है कि नहीं जी question? बताइए. Question number 1 to 10, 1 to 15, 1 to 12, 1 to 19, 1 to 8. So in an R.S. Agarwal quantitative aptitude book, which you must have studied depending upon the board you come from. So you have chapters, and every chapter you have questions. In the Indian Constitution, every chapter in an R.S. Agarwal book starts with a new question or a previous question. अगर simple interest में question number 10 was the last question. In compound interest it would be 11 or 1? 1? इसमें कोई doubt नहीं है? Any doubt? Constitution is divided into parts. Constitution is divided into parts. Every topic that we are dealing is actually a part. So सबसे पहले, what should be the first statement? First statement क्या होना चाहिए? First, what should be the first part? India, Union and its किस country का constitution है? We read the entire constitution and then we got to know कि we were talking about what Lesotho, a landlocked country in Africa. So constitution का पहला part जो है, that is Union and its territory. So like an R.S. Agarwal book, you have a particular topic, a particular chapter dealing with a particular topic. The Constitution of Indian Republic is also divided into parts. In every particular part, you have a topic. So first you have talked about the country. Now what you will talk about? Citizens. पहले तो जमीन है ना, हवा में तो citizens है नहीं. So first you have to establish the country. So you first part is India, Union and its territory. So what should be the second part? Citizens. अब चूंकि जमीन की बात हो गई, we have talked about land. Now we'll be talking about people. Now you have fundamental rights. That is the third part. After fundamental rights, you have DPSP. We will see these things. And then you have fundamental duties, part 4A. So like the R.S. Agarwal maths book is divided into various chapters, the Constitution of India is divided into various parts, and every part deals with a particular topic. Is there a doubt about that? No. In an R.S. Agarwal maths book, if I say that question number 10, then you will laugh at me. Question number 10 of which chapter? Question number 10 of which chapter? You will laugh at me कि क्या chapter? You just tell me the chapter. Is it okay? So in an R.S. Agarwal maths book, every chapter starts with a new question. To avoid such problem in the Constitution of India, you have this thing. Article 1 से 4 is in part 1. Part 1 has article 1 to 4. Part 2 has article 5 to 11. Part 3 has 12 to 35, 36 to 51 and 51A. So in every part you actually have articles. पार्ट के अंदर भी तो कुछ लिखना है. यूनियन एंड इट्स टेरिटरी इफ यू हैव रिटन, तो क्या बोलना, क्या कहना क्या चाहते हो सर किताबें. सो यू हैव टू से ना. सो यू हैव वेरियस आर्टिकल्स. जस्ट टेल मी वन थिंग, if every part starts with a new article, then there will be a confusion. If I say article 7, I have to say article 7 of which part? In R.S. Agarwal book, if I'll say article 10, so I have to say article 10 of which chapter? So to avoid any such confusion, every part, wherever the article ends, the new part starts with a just the chronology. So you have article 1 to 4 in part 1. This is part 1. This is part 2. This is part 2. This is part 3. This is part 4. This is part 4A. रोमन में लिखा होता है पर कन्वीनियंस के लिए कर रहा हूं. ठीक है. So within the part you have articles. Okay. So I'll draw it beautifully here. उतना तो नहीं beautifully लेकिन फिर भी ठीक है. So you have parts. Part 1. You have part 1, 2, 3, 4. First part, union and its territory. Second part, citizenship. Third part, fundamental rights. Fourth part, fundamental directive principles of state policy. And within the part you have articles. अब बताइए, if I say article 39, do I need to say part 4? It is understandable that article 39 is in part 4. So you understood the difference between part and article. Every simple, if for example there is interstate trade and commerce, for example there is election, for example there is fundamental rights, for example there is Supreme Court, every topic is dealt in a particular part. So every part has a particular topic. You're getting it? कोई डाउट नहीं है. Within the part you have articles. अब सुनिए, Article 1 of the Constitution says, India that is Bharat, India जो कि भारत है, there was a debate in Constituent Assembly that what should be the name of the country. So there was a big time. So finally they agreed, India in Hindi does not mean Bharat. Both the words India and Bharat have absolutely different etymological connotations. कोई इंडिया को हिंदी में भारत नहीं. They have different historical, social and other cultural background. So the name, how many names we have of the country? India and Bharat, both. So Article 1 of the Constitution says, just giving you an example, India that is Bharat shall be union of states. So एक पर्टिकुलर चैप्टर को, एक पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक को एक पार्ट में डील कर रहा है. यूनियन एंड टेरिटरी, सिटीजनशिप के बारे में बात करनी है तो एक पार्ट होगा. फंडामेंटल राइट्स के बारे में बात करनी है तो एक पार्ट होगा. डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स. सो एवरी टॉपिक इज डेल्ट इन अ पार्ट एंड विद इन द पार्ट यू हैव आर्टिकल्स. द नेक्स्ट पार्ट स्टार्ट्स विद नॉट अ न्यू आर्टिकल बट फ्रॉम द वेयर वी लेफ्ट इन द प्रीवियस पार्ट फॉर कन्वीनियंस. अब मैंने कहा इंडिया दैट इज भारत शैल बी अ यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट्स. Don't you think? Which state? Alaska, North Dakota, South Dakota, California, Texas, Miami, कौन सा state? और Switzerland और Queensland, कौन सा state? So do we need to exhibit that this part means? कौन सा state? States का नाम बोलिए. मैं चक दे इंडिया में नहीं बोला था, यहां बोल दीजिए. हाँ, states you have United States of Bihar. Just kidding. So you have Bihar, UP, Karnataka, Telangana, these are states. So don't you think that the Constitution of Indian Republic must explain that India that is Bharat shall be a union of states? Which state? Are we talking about Texas, California, North Dakota, Alaska? कौन सा state? So you need schedules. So schedules are actually to make constitution, explanation of the constitution. You are getting my point? So it is schedules of the constitution. So schedules basically क्या है, एक तरीके से एक explanation का एक, you're getting my point. So you have schedule 1. So you have article 1 of the constitution says India that is Bharat shall be a union of states. List of states and union territories given in schedule 1. So what is a schedule? It is actually an explanation of the constitution. So you have a schedule 1. Or agar Telangana 29वां raj bana, in 2014 Telangana became the 29th state of India on 6th August 2019 after the passage of Jammu Kashmir Reorganization Act, which came into force on 31st October 2019 on the birth anniversary of Sardar Patel. Jammu Kashmir was bifurcated into 2 union territories. So one state got reduced or increased. Reduced, so state 29 से कितना हो गया 28 और यूनियन टेरिटरी 7 से हो गए 9. 7 से जम्मू कश्मीर एंड लद्दाख 9 हो गया ना. After that, on 26 January 2020, we merged Dadar Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. So again from 9 it became 8. So what is a schedule? Actually, it is an explanation of the constitution. Otherwise, constitution will become more bulky. Article 1 India, that is Bharat shall be a union of state, uske niche sare state or UTs ka naam. So whenever a new state or union territory is created, schedule 1 is amended or not. जब भी एक नई यूनियन टेरिटरी बनेगी या एक नया स्टेट बनेगा, will schedule 1 will be amended or not? So what is a schedule? Actually it is an explanation. You are getting this? So it is an explanation. You have schedule 1. Now first schedule is the list of states and union territory. और तो कुछ नहीं होता है, स्टेट और यूटी ही होता है ना, पंचायत का नाम तो नहीं डालेगा. So there is a state and union territory. So you have states and UTs. इसी तरीके से, like this only, you have other things also in the schedule. First schedule you have list of states and union territories. Second schedule you have salaries and allowances of certain constitutional dignitaries. Third schedule you have oaths and affirmation of certain constitutional dignitaries. Affirmation means one who is an atheist, he would not be swearing upon God, so he'll be affirming. I do hereby affirm. So you have oaths and affirmations. Every state is represented in Rajya Sabha, and 3 union territories with legislature are also represented in Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha hai na, Delhi mein? You have a Rajya Sabha, you have a Lok Sabha, okay. So how will you know that Bihar has 16 seats in Rajya Sabha and UP has 31 seats in Rajya Sabha and Delhi has 3 seats in Rajya Sabha? So schedule 1, कुछ जितने भी schedules हैं, actually they are explanation. Schedule 1 is name of states and union territories. Schedule 2 is salaries and alliances. Schedule 3, oaths and affirmation. Schedule 4, how many states will have which seats in Rajya Sabha is given, and union territories also is given in Schedule 4. We will see these schedules again, don't worry. We'll see these schedules. So you have seats in Rajya Sabha. ठीक है? Now you have certain scheduled areas. अभी उसको नहीं खोलेंगे. It is like first day you are coming on quantum mathematics की book दे दिए. ठीक है? तो अभी नहीं. There are scheduled areas. Certain areas in our country which are relatively socio and economically backward, and our brothers and sisters from tribal communities live there. So undoubtedly there needs to be more attention for overall development. So there is a concept of scheduled area. So you have scheduled areas, 5th schedule. 6th schedule you have autonomous district councils. थोड़ा सा समझ लीजिए. For example, we have matrilineal societies in Meghalaya. Okay, everything is transferred in the name of women. Okay, in the past also we had kings known by the name of mother, Gautami Putra Satkarni. The king was known by the name of his mother. You have certain societies in southern part of the country where there is a culture of marriage with mama. That is one of the best form of marriage. So we have diversity in India. Do you think that if we are forcing our Indian penal code over there, don't you think our brothers and sisters from tribal communities, they have a beautiful way of life, so they should be given to run their marriage, run their inheritance, divorce as per their own custom? Otherwise they will, why will they come? They have been living in harmony for 2000 years, so they should be allowed to live. So 6th schedule, there are autonomous district councils. मैं गया था last year Meghalaya, I visited. So you have beautiful powered autonomous district councils. वो local मुद्दों को, local issues they have with themselves. If they can also make laws subject to the consent of governor. So if you are assimilating people from tribal communities, so you should be acknowledging their diversity. India is a land of melting pot or salad ball. India is not a land of melting pot. If I make a soup, I invite 19 ingredients to make a soup. Finally, all the ingredients would lose their identity and there will be identity of the soup. So India is not a land of melting pot. India is a land of salad ball where all cultures stay together. Lemon, onion, tomato, without losing their identity. So India is a land of melting pot or a land of salad ball. It is a land of salad ball where all the cultures stay together without losing their identity. Okay, so you have 6 schedule. Yahan you have scheduled areas. We will again, this is just the introduction. अभी आएगा, फिर आएगा, ऐसा नहीं है, बहुत अच्छे से आएगा, आप चिंता मत कीजिए. So schedules क्या है basically? They are explanation. अच्छा, one thing. Article 246 says there is a parliament in New Delhi. You know? Everyone knows? Okay. And everyone comes from either a state or a union territory. Some union territories do not have legislature. Otherwise, 3 union territories have legislature. आप जिस भी राज्य से आते हैं, wherever you come from, there is a legislative assembly in that state or not. Without a shadow of doubt, do we have a legislative assembly? So, don't you think it is important to decide that किन-किन मुद्दों पर, on which matters the state legislative assembly will make law and which matters parliament will make law? If you will not decide that, then parliament will assemble and they will call state legislative assembly. आज किस पे law बना रहा है? मैं आज सोच रहा हूँ land पे बना लूँ. चल ठीक है, तू CRPC बना ले. So you are getting my point. So don't you think there should be a healthy demarcation of powers? Whichever state you come from, there is a legislative assembly in that state or not? आप बताइए, आपके पीछे. You come from which state? There is a legislative assembly there or not? एक विधान सभा है, एक है लखनऊ में, एक विधान सभा है, और दिल्ली में एक लोकसभा और राज्यसभा है कि नहीं, बताइए. तो आपके हिसाब से डोंट यू थिंक दैट इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू डिटरमाइन, विधानसभा कुछ तो करती होगी, हाँ कुछ तो करती होगी. क्या करती है? लॉ बनाती है. सो इट मेक्स लॉज. सो इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू डिसाइड ना कि विच मैटर्स विधानसभा विल मेक लॉ एंड विच मैटर्स डिसाइड होना चाहिए कि नहीं, आप बताइए. अदरवाइज क्लैश होगा अननेसेसरी. आपस में तो क्लैश होता है उनका, ठीक है, यूपी विधानसभा में, like you have seen. Okay, so the point is, don't you think the constitution should divide power between center and state? Otherwise there would be a constant clash between the two. So constitution says that on union list parliament will make laws, on state list state legislature will make laws, and both of them would be making laws on concurrent list. गौर से सुनिए, constitution of India ये कहता है the union list parliament will make laws. जो भी सब्जेक्ट यूनियन लिस्ट में है, ऑल द थिंग्स दैट आर रिटन इन यूनियन लिस्ट, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू हैव डिफेंस, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू हैव एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू हैव कम्युनिकेशन, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू हैव वॉर, all these matters are dealt by the railways, Reserve Bank of India, insurance. So all the matters that are there in union list, who will make law? Parliament. All the matters that are on state list, state legislative assembly law बनाएगी. जैसे you have agriculture entry 14, you have land, you have police, you have law and order, all these are in state list. And same you have concurrent list, एक concurrent list भी है जहां पर दोनों laws बनाएंगे, forest, wildlife, marriage, so many things, CRPC, criminal procedure code. So you have a concurrent list, whatever things are mentioned in concurrent list, who will make laws? Both will make laws, whatever. So अब बताता हूं, इन सर्टेन स्पेशल सर्कमस्टांसेस, हमेशा नहीं, 5 ऐसे स्पेशल सर्कमस्टांसेस हैं जहां पार्लियामेंट कैन ऑल्सो मेक लॉ ऑन स्टेट लिस्ट. यू आर गेटिंग माई पॉइंट. सो वी विल लीव दीज थिंग्स फॉर द टाइम बीइंग. जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड, इफ इट इज रिटन इन आर्टिकल 246, आर्टिकल 246 में ये लिखा हुआ है, इफ इट इज रिटन, आर्टिकल 246 वुड बी इन शेड्यूल और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में होगा, किसी को डाउट है? इट शुड बी इनसाइड द Constitution. If it is written in Article 246 कि Parliament will make laws on Union list, State will make laws on State list, and both will make laws in concurrent list. If there is a clash, Parliamentary law will prevail. अगर clash हो गया concurrent list पे, Parliamentary law will prevail unless the state law has received the assent of the President. अभी उतना complicated नहीं करते, बस ये समझते हैं. Article 246 में they have written Parliament will make law on Union list. तो बताना पड़ेगा ना कि यूनियन लिस्ट क्या है? Do you think it is important to convey what is union list? Just by writing that parliament will make all the subjects that are mentioned in union list, parliament will make laws. So बताना पड़ेगा ना, defense, communication, external affairs, railways, insurance, war, peace, extradition, central bureau of investigation, all these subjects that are mentioned in union list. So बताना पड़ेगा ना भाई. So you have 7 schedule of the constitution where you have union list, that is list 1, state list, that is list 2, and concurrent list in this order. So what is actually 7 schedule? It is actually explaining the constitution. Okay. Then you have 8 schedule. Okay. Languages. Certain special provision, the president shall be establishing commission looking into their overall welfare. Language is the most important career of culture. It is a very emotive issue. Now you have 9th schedule. You have certain laws, we will deal them. 10th schedule, anti-defection. And 11th schedule, ab suniye. So what do you think of the schedules now? They actually make the constitution easy and simplify. एक छोटी सी बात है. Whichever state you come from, you also have panchayati raj in that state. Okay? है ना? है ना panchayati raj? तो panchayat, what will panchayat do? Huh? Don't you think it is important to determine what power shall be divided between state and panchayat? Otherwise पंचायत बना दिया, अब क्या करना है? अच्छा क्या करना है? अच्छा कल डिसाइड करेंगे, आज पिज्जा मंगा लेते हैं. ऐसा नहीं होगा ना. There should be a healthy demarcation of power. Constitution should let the पंचायत know ना कि आप बने हैं तो आपका काम क्या है. So 29 subjects are given in 11th schedule that panchayats can have. 29 subjects are given in 11th schedule that will be going to panchayats. Many of you come from urban landscape. You have municipal corporation, municipal council and nagar panchayat depending upon the population density, revenue. We'll see that in article 243. So if you establish a municipal corporation, what will be the work of municipal corporation? So you have 18 such subjects in 12th schedule of the constitution. So you are getting this. So what is actually 11th and 12th schedule? 7th schedule is demarcating the power between union and state. And 11th and 12th schedule is actually attempting to demarcate the power between state and panchayati raj institution and state and municipalities that came into force on 1st June 1993. That is a 74th Constitutional Amendment Act and 24th April 1993, which we celebrate as Panchayati Raj Day every year. On this day, 73rd Constitutional Amendment came into being. So you got what is a constitution, what is a part actually dealing. Part क्या कर रहा है? What actually a part attempts to do? एक पर्टिकुलर किसी एक मुद्दे को उठा रहा है और उसको डील कर रहा है. पार्ट इज एक्चुअली डीलिंग विद अ पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक. क्या कोई डाउट है इसमें? नहीं. यू हैव यूनियन एंड टेरिटरी, सिटीजनशिप, फंडामेंटल राइट्स, ड्यूटीज, डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स. देन यू हैव व्हाट यू कॉल आर्टिकल्स. व्हाट इज एन आर्टिकल? आर्टिकल बताइए ना भाई, मुझे लगेगा मैं within the part you have articles. So article actually is, part is the shop, article are the material inside the shop. So मैंने लिख दिया पार्ट 1 यूनियन एंड टेरिटरी और फिर इसी तरह 25 पार्ट लिख दिया. वी रोट पार्ट 1 2 3 4 5 6, तो फिर हो गया यूनियन एंड टेरिटरी. कुछ कहना भी तो चाहते हो सर किताबें. सो इट शुड बी लाइक कि व्हाट इज द आर्टिकल है ना उसके अंदर. सो यू हैव आर्टिकल्स दैट एक्चुअली, सो व्हाट इज द कोर, व्हाट एक्चुअली कन्वेज द मैसेज, पार्ट ऑफ द आर्टिकल. आर्टिकल ना एक्चुअली, तो पूरी जो डिबेट चल रही है वो पार्ट या मेन चीज क्या है इसकी? आर्टिकल. एंड व्हाट आर शेड्यूल्स? Explanation to the constitution. So you say article 1 of the constitution that says India that is Bharat shall be a union of states. किन states का union? अलास्का और टेक्सास का और कैलिफोर्निया का. यूपी है यूएस का कैलिफोर्निया, 53 सीट है. तो यू हैव कैलिफोर्निया की बात हो रही है या तेलंगाना की? हाउ विल वी गेट टू नो दैट? सो दैट इज गिवन इन शेड्यूल Schedule 1 of the Constitution. So Schedule 1, what are schedules actually? Imagine a situation where everything is incorporated in the Constitution, not in the schedule. Don't you think एक एक article पढ़ने में it will be very tough? Article 1, India, that is Bharat shall be a union of states, और नीचे पूरा list. So what are actually schedules? Schedules are explanation to the Constitution. You are getting that point. So what is the difference between article, part and schedule, you know? Okay? Anybody having any problem, please let me know. ठीक है, कोई भी किसी को कोई स्ट्रेस नहीं लेना है. If you feel anything, please come to me. We are in the same team. We are in the same team. We are not in opposite. There is no inhibiting factor. The purpose here is you should play with the Constitution, which you will get to know in few days. Okay. And if you have an iota of doubt, after 10 days, anybody, on a very humble note, anybody you feel is preparing or anybody has a background, anybody, after 10 days, you communicate with that person. Okay. Or you go and practice any of the questions that have been asked in any exam over that topic. Okay. Or communicate with anyone. Then you will understand what is your level of understanding, and then that is the best way to check and go through the previous year's question paper. Okay. Then you will understand. So we have a Constitution. Next topic is ki, so you got the difference between ordinary law and Constitution. So how many ordinary laws are there? Thousands of ordinary laws are there, but Constitution is one. Okay. Is there a doubt? Even before the Constitution came into being, ordinary laws were there or not? Yes, they were there, and they are passed by simple majority, but Constitution is amended by special or simple majority. Special majority, we will see. उसमें भी कुछ intricacies हैं, minutes हैं, we will see. अभी मैं जानता हूँ revolt हो जाएगा, I feel. So it is like just kidding. So you will be like, क्यों चाहिए? अभी बस इतना. अब आते हैं. Okay. So what do you understand by Constitution? Okay. So I'll get the common answer, but still I will also ask, you will also answer. Okay. So that is a practice, but still tell me, what do you understand by Constitution? एक एक करके आप बताइए, जिनको भी बताइए. हाँ. Rule book of the nation. Okay. Okay. Fundamental law of the land. बताइए. Okay, fully, it is an organized document. Okay, organized document. You said it is fundamental law of the land, and she said that it is rule book of the nation. Okay, so let me first write. Okay, so organized book, okay, rule book of the nation, और उन्होंने कहा organized book, rule book of the nation. आपने कहा it is a fundamental law of the land. Of the land. ठीक है? Anybody would like to contribute? Source of rights. Okay, source of rights. ठीक है भाई? चलिए. Source of rights. Okay. बताइए और कुछ? Liberty, equality, fraternity. Okay, we have answers. Shubham, Nikhil, fundamental law of the land which enjoys special legal sanctity. Divyanshu, ultimate rule book of the nation, governing document. Pragya, Abhay, Sengar, law governing state. Ritu Ranjan, fundamental law of the land. Okay, बताइए कुछ और? Okay, yani it establishes the political system of the country. Authorities are part of the political system. So you mean to convey that it establishes the political system of the country and the authorities derive their power from the constitution. Okay. एक एक करके, ठीक है? बताइए, बोलिए. Political system. बताइए. Okay, it is a compilation of laws which is applicable to certain states or territory. Okay. ठीक है. Okay, compilation of laws. Okay. देखिए. If vision we want to achieve as a nation. Okay, very good. Ved Prakash Shukla. It is a vision which we want to achieve as a nation. Okay, values of a nation, Ashutosh. Simran. Okay, Constitution of India is it is like Sim space RAN. Dilip Kumar, anyone make Telegram group? Okay, Dilip, very good. Constitution is the fundamental organic law of the land, legal document, a book which is basic rule when a law of the country will run. Ashutosh, source of living rule of law. Schedules only have explanation. Then why anti-defection? Namit anti-defection undoubtedly has. So undoubtedly there are provisions. Whenever I make a statement, it has certain provisions related to anti-defection. Koi problem nahi. But they actually also attempt to bring a sense of what you call stability. Okay. So it is just for an explanatory purpose. And we will, without a shadow of doubt, we'll see anti-defection also. कोई चिंता नहीं. बेसिक प्रिंसिपल्स एंड लॉज. ओके, अभी तो बैच फिर तो आंसर आएगा ही. ठीक है. ग्रैंड नॉर्म, ब्रिलियंट. शिखर मित्तल, वेरी गुड. ग्रैंड नॉर्म, वेरी गुड. पक्का लॉ बैकग्राउंड है लग रहा है. ठीक है. सो सबसे पहले सी, you have a topic in mains that is comparing constitutions of the world. There are 193 member states at United Nations and 2 observer states, Holy See and Palestine. So you will not be going through all 193. We'll go through basics whenever, as and when required. So you must understand this कि if you compare the constitutions of the world, अगर आप US का constitution देखेंगे, almost all the Western European democracies and major constitutions have gone through many a times. You will find that those constitutions are not comprehensive. Those constitutions are not comprehensive. They are very brief document. Getting my point? So you say na कि it is rule book of the nation. मेरे भाई, rules are not even given there. You say political system, undoubtedly there is a political system, but major administrative system is not mentioned there. If you see the Constitution of United States, even fundamental rights are very precise. So undoubtedly what you say, rule book of the nation, all these things are absolutely correct. First thing that we have already discussed, that Constitution is the fundamental law of the land. That is the most. Why? Because all other laws must be subservient. Second thing is, it is not common for every country that it is like it is the not necessarily that every constitution of the world will be a source of right. What is a right? Right is a legally protected interest. What is a right? Right is a legally protected interest. Okay. So you have grand norm, that is the thing. What is constitution which is common for every country? See, first of all, there is no authority in the world who defines constitution. For example, there is please listen to me very carefully. For many political science concept, you have diverse opinions. For example, nationalism. After 9th January 2000, February 2015, that incident happened in JNU. I have read so many books on nationalism. Still, the idea of nationalism is a debatable one. Getting my point? So there is no authority who will say that this is the fix. It is not mathematics. It is like political science. You have federalism. There is no agreed definition of federalism. There is no agreed definition. Separation of power, there is a person who has given. Montesquieu in his book 1748, Spirit of Laws, has given the concept of separation of powers. Federalism, nobody has given. I presented a paper comparing Indian and Canadian federalism. So you have diverse opinion. In the absence of an agreed definition, कुछ values हैं जो माने जाते हैं. What is common for all the constitutions of the world is, first, they are the fundamental law of the land. All other laws are subservient. Second, many of you have written also, it reflects the ideology and philosophy of the nation. What was the kind of India that was dreamed by the founding mothers and fathers of the Constitution in the Constituent Assembly? So one, it is the fundamental law of the land. Second, the first thing that is reflected from the Constitution is what kind of India was envisaged, what kind of India was thought by the founding mothers and fathers of Constitution in the Constituent Assembly. So you have Constitution is the fundamental law of the land and reflects the ideology and philosophy of the nation. For example, I'll give you an example. Donald Jr. Trump, 45th president of USA, once he posted something on Facebook. He wrote, he is from Republican Party. Okay. He wrote that if Democrats come to power, they will make America a socialist state. So I just thought for a second, in India, every party there is a competitive spirit among political parties कि हम ज़्यादा socialist है. Getting my point now? But in United States, the very mention of the term socialism is seen in politics as bad. So their ideology and philosophy of the Constitution does not reflect US to be a socialist mandate. We'll come to socialism. How did we come to know that United States of America is a secular state? Saudi Arabia, the title of the king of Saudi Arabia is that he's the custodian of Harman and Sharifan, that is Mecca and Medina. So this, what is the most important job of the constitution is to reflect the vision of the country. That is to exhibit the, what is the most important job of the constitution? Reflect the ideology and philosophy of the nation. Many times you will have 10-12 pages of constitution in Western European democracies. कुछ ना उसमें कुछ rule दिया हुआ है, ना political system है. Everything is, UK has an unwritten constitution. It does not even have a written constitution. Still it has a commitment to the constitution, constituent morality. You get. So one thing which is common is constitution is fundamental law of the land. How did we come to know that India is a secular state? How did we come to know? Because on 11th March 1994, SR Bomai versus Union of India, Supreme Court said we are secular and we got to know that. How did we come to know? Huh? Because the provisions of the constitution, article, how did we come to know that the idea of socialism is embedded in directive principles? Article 38, social, economic and political justice, inequality in income should be reduced and inequality in status should be eliminated. So socialist principles. Article 41, right to work. Article 42, maternity relief. So how did we come to know that India is a socialist mandate is there? Article 39, inequality, concentration of wealth should be reduced. So secularism, socialism. How did we come to know about the republican character of Indian state? Article 52, there shall be a president of India. So sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic. So one thing which is common, one thing which is common is constitutions of the world reflect the, this is one of the greatest scholars of our time, say that constitution before doing anything, they reflect the ideology and philosophy of the nation. What kind of country the founding mothers and fathers of the constitution envisaged for India. And undoubtedly whatever you have answered, rule book of the nation and everything is acceptable without a shadow of doubt, which varies country to country. This is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar defending this in Constituent Assembly. That many people were saying why small administrative posts are even mentioned in the constitution. There is no need to give administrative structure. He was wise enough to understand the diversity of India. So most of the things that are not even there in the constitution of other countries are also in our constitution to avoid any further problem. You see constitution of USA uthaiye. You will not find rules over there. I can talk about French, German constitution. I can talk French 1958 document. You can Australian constitution, although is a bit comprehensive, but it is also not dealing with. They didn't had a constitution. Once they turned federal, they made one. So you see the constitution. One thing which is common in the constitution of every country is they reflect the ideology and philosophy of the nation. Next, are they organic documents? Organic matlab grow karna. Jaise USA. Constitution came into being on 4th July 1789. कितना time हुआ? 4th July 1789. It was open for ratification by the states. US का constitution. Our constitution came into being on 26 January 1950. Although Article 394 of the Constitution says that some provisions of the Constitution will come into force on 26 November 1949 only. जब Constitution बन के तैयार हो गया, they adopted enacted on that day only. Okay, then you have Article 393. Constitution का नाम क्या है? 393 में सिर्फ ये लिखा हुआ है कि this Constitution shall be called Constitution of India. So we will not call it Indian Constitution. We will not call it anything. That is the name of the Constitution is given in one of the articles. It is this Constitution shall be called Constitution of India. Okay. So third is organic. Ab suniye. US 4th March 1789. Abhi 2nd of March 2015. 22. Okay. Abhi tak in more than 220 years, US Constitution has been amended 27 times. कितनी बार? उस document में सिर्फ 27 बार उन्होंने change किया है. So how many times they have amended the Constitution? Only 27 times. Actually, they have amended the Constitution 33 times, lekin there is a requirement that it should be ratified by the states also. So the states have not ratified 6 times. So how many times it is amended? 27 times. So 1789 से 2022 तक कितनी बार amend किया? 27 times. So it is relatively more rigid or flexible. Rigid. We started on 26 January 1950. 1951 also we had first constitutional amendment. So no, our requirement है ना, you cannot compare every country. Let US dare to have 134 crore population. Let's US dare to have this diversity. फिर देखता हूं इंडिया, यूएस, कनाडा, ऑस्ट्रेलिया आर लैंड ऑफ मल्टीकल्चरलिज्म, बट द डाइवर्सिटी दैट वी हैव इन इंडिया एंड लिमिटेड रिसोर्सेज. एवरी वेस्टर्न फिलोसोफर द मोर यू रीड इन 1950s वाज स्केप्टिकल. कुछ समय की बात है, कुछ समय की बात है. दे ऑल विल बी डिसइंटीग्रेटेड. वी हैव प्रूव्ड देम रॉन्ग एवरी सिंगल डे. वी आर, in spite of everything, we have democratic elections and the constitution of India is absolutely an egalitarian document जो सबको साथ लेकर चले. So our challenges are different. With our challenges we have done 100 times better. Okay, monumental resources, 34 crore population. Canada with second largest country, 37th number population, if they are doing good, I think we have a different challenge. We must appreciate ourselves. Okay, and you see from here to Mediterranean coast, किस country में liberty, equality, fraternity, freedom of speech and expression of this wide dimension? We may be at times, there may be issues, but immediately there cannot be what you call, you must be positive. Okay, so it is an, we have amended how many times? 105 times. Last year, the last time we amended Article 342A of the Constitution in the last 4-5 months back, that is 105th time. So our Constitution is relatively more flexible when compared to USA. So what is the agreed definition? We have कि Constitution is fundamental law of the land. It reflects the ideology and philosophy of the nation, and it is an organic document. Then whatever grand norm बोलते हैं fundamental law को, यानी all other laws must be, इसी को बोलते हैं लॉ की लैंग्वेज में ग्रैंड नॉर्म. देयर इज अ पेपर ज्यूरिस्प्रूडेंस इन सेमेस्टर 1. यू लर्न व्हाट इज लॉ. व्हाट इज लॉ नहीं डिफाइंड है, उसको लेके अभी स्कॉलर्स में लॉ इज द कमांड ऑफ द सॉवरेन, सो लॉ इज एन एक्सेप्टेड थिंग. सो देयर आर स्कॉलर्स, अभी व्हाट इज लॉ पे शुरू करेंगे, 2 दिन चलेगा, ठीक है. तो इसीलिए व्हाट इज लॉ, यू जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड कि in a very simple language the difference between an ordinary law and a constitution. So one thing you must understand, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एक बुक है या स्कैटर्ड है? इट इज अ बुक. सो फर्स्ट टाइम दे मेट ऑन अ डेट, एक दिन वो मिले पहली बार. 9 दिसंबर 1946 को पहली बार वो मिले. किस लिए मिले? वाई डिड दे मीट? दे मीट टू ड्राफ्ट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. और 26 नवंबर 1949 को उन्होंने काम खत्म. They ended their work on 20. So they prepared the constitution from 9th December 1946 to 26 November 1949. So a constitution was made in this particular period. So it is a book that is an organized document. It is a book that was made during a particular period. And whatever, see, अब कुछ चीजें हैं जैसे कि I'll come to few basic things about Dr. Ambedkar and Gandhi ji from exam perspective. Exam is always there in the mind, not academic discussion. Exam में you must be playing कि पूछ क्या रहा है, ठीक है. You must reach that level. Okay, that is the only target, और कुछ नहीं है, ठीक है. So what we can do, we can time है, we can write about constitution, all these things which you have said, compilation of law. So तो statutory book हो गया. Okay, then you have source of right without a shadow of doubt. You can, but not necessarily ना. क्या जरूरी है हर मुल्क के constitution में you will have rights? Not necessary. So we must have a definition that is, although it's a very beautiful thing to think in that direction, that we have rights. Okay, so please, and some dekhe constituent assembly debates is not important, but of late you are seeing questions in essay, blind date with knowledge, what is research, blind date with knowledge. So constituent assembly debates, from something at least you should know. Few debates थोड़ा मैं बता देता हूँ, 1-2 बातें और बोलूंगा, फिर I'll be dictating constitution. पहले क्लास में वी हैव टू डू, अदरवाइज कि सम स्पीचेस ऑफ डॉक्टर अंबेडकर विच आई पर्सनली फील एज अ सिटीजन ऑल्सो एंड एज अ सिविल सर्विसेज एस्पिरेंट विदाउट अ शैडो ऑफ डाउट यू मस्ट रीड. One speech is the draft constitution, 4th November 1948 he gave, and the most important speech is on 25th November 1949, that grammar of anarchy. सुना है ना? जब आखिरी बार डॉक्टर अंबेडकर कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली में खड़े हुए, when he stood for the last time, that's a very beautiful speech. And you know constitutional morality, he was the person who used the term constitutional. And पिछले 6 साल में, if there is one term that is in news like anything, which is every Supreme Court judgment, every third judgment of Supreme Court will start with the term constitutional morality. So ye Dr. Ambedkar brought this into India when he used this term on 4th November 1948 in a speech, draft constitution. Then again when he spoke for the last time, कुछ चीजें हैं ऐसी जो करना है. एक आखिरी बात, एक चीज वो एग्जाम में पूछेंगे ही पूछेंगे. मैं बोल बोल कर थक गया हूं. गांधी जी इज नॉट मेंशन्ड इन द सिलेबस directly. Gandhi ji on 9th January 1915 he came to India. We celebrate Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. He died on 30th January 1948. All these things are there. Okay. So, but Gandhi ji is a science. Okay. मैंने पहले भी कहा था when they asked a question in prelims कि what is common between Gandhi and Marx. This year they asked a question in mains GS paper 1 Gandhi ji. Ethics में they will give a quote from Gandhi ji. In state PCS they will directly ask about Gandhism. Gandhi ji is one thing which is not mentioned in the syllabus directly, but it is a pure science. It is not a social ki you are eating kachori and you discuss non-violence karega. Ha, theek hai. So like not. It is basically that Gandhi ji is a science and you must be aware 3-4 pages ka. It will help you like anything and you will thank me. Every second year they will ask a question from Gandhi ji. Every single paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4, kahin bhi they will ask. So what all books have been written by Gandhi ji? A very brief synopsis. Some people have worked for you. Go through it. Uska ek synopsis kijiye. What all associations Gandhi ji was with and what are his tools? Satyagraha, clinging on to truth, non-violence, civil disobedience, disobeying those laws which were inhumane, unjust and non what you call arbitrary in nature basically. Then you have non-cooperation. The person who is our enemy will not cooperate. So Gandhi ji must be studied. 3-4 pages ka Gandhi ji se related you prepare. It is going to help you in prelims also, mains also and personality test. So the moment you say that, sir, I want to like work for the country since childhood. So they'll say, okay, fundamental duties. Okay, sir, next year. So the point is, ki you must understand ki this is the Gandhi ji. So please write what is constitution. We'll write. What is constitution? Please write. हाँ, आप बोलिए. बिल्कुल कह सकते, बिल्कुल कह सकते. How the country? It is a generic statement. Yes, undoubtedly. You can have a different. Undoubtedly. Please write. Please write. Constitution is the fundamental law of the land. Constitution is the fundamental law of the land. Constitution is the fundamental law of the land that reflects, Constitution is the fundamental law of the land that reflects ideology and philosophy of the nation. That reflects ideology and philosophy of the nation. Reflects ideology and philosophy of the nation. Constitution also establishes, Constitution also establishes organs of the state, also establishes organs of the state and the principles that should govern those organs. And the principles that should govern those organs. Full stop. Then you write Constitution, constitutions, organic लिख लिया है, नहीं लिखा ना. Constitutions are organic document. Constitutions are organic document Constitutions are organic document that keep evolving, as per the demand of the time, that keep evolving as per the demand of the time. Full stop. ठीक है. So this is what we have done. Okay, this was just an introductory thing. Basic baat simply ye hai. Keep it very simple. Go through the text, read newspapers and all. I know you need a break. Okay, so I am. Okay. So we'll be having a break of 5-6 minutes. We come back. We will do constitutional morality, constitutionalism, and then we'll have a very brief topic of separation of powers by French philosopher Montesquieu. Okay, organs of the state. How does that work? Okay, then we'll venture into preamble, fundamental rights, and all these things. Okay, huh. Without a shadow of doubt, yes, we will do that only constitutionalism. अभी करेंगे वही next topic है वही constitutionalism. ठीक है बताइए. Good evening, welcome back. You know what is liberty? Huh? Liberty is responsible use of freedom under rule of law. Liberty is responsible use of freedom under rule of law. So the freedom must be if responsibly used under rule of law. And if I leave, the break would end at 8:05. Okay, and then you would be at liberty to leave. Okay. So we have a few very basic questions. One that somebody asked that, sir, which is the what you call which are the years class of NCRT? Okay, so I'm just repeating that for you. Democratic politics part 1 is in class 9. Okay, and NCRT class 10 is democratic politics part 2. There are 2 NCERTs. One is in part 9 and class 9, other is in class 10. Okay, so democratic politics part 1 is in class 9 and part 2 is in class 10. Then you have Indian Constitution at work, undoubtedly it is in class 11th NCERT, and political theory is my favorite book, it's in class 11th NCERT. Okay? Politics in India since independence you can do class 12th. Okay, it's a class 12th NCERT. Ek aur baat, sir, what should be the approach? Okay, first of all, they say कि NCERT पढ़ें या book पढ़ें. NCERT is like, सबसे पहले NCERT पढ़ने में कितना वक्त रोज पढ़ेंगे? हाँ, अरे भाई NCERT is like the moment you think of eating dinner. Okay, so it is like you breathe during the dinner or you breathe after the dinner. So NCERT you cannot count that कि NCERT भी पढ़ें. Like NCERT is like you must complete it within a day or two. That is a prerequisite. That's a compulsory thing, NCERT. Okay, you can छोड़िए. So it is NCERT. So that's a prerequisite thing. उसमें वो बार बार नहीं पढ़ना है आपको. You will be completing that in a day or two. These 4 books are must. They are basics. And you must do that, and you must be very thorough with them, and after that of course when you feel like you can revisit. So I don't even count NCERT, it is a prerequisite. They are asking questions. It is not a book that कितना देर लगेगा NCERT में, कितना वक्त लगेगा, मतलब 2-3 दिन लगेगा भाई, मुझे तो 2 घंटे लगे, लेकिन आपको 2-3 कोई भी नहीं. NCERT क्या है? NCERT में क्या है? It's not class 11 12th basic है भाई. It will take 2-3 days. First you cover NCERT very comprehensively, beautifully, and then I will ensure that whatever is the जितने भी ऊपर तक they will try to go, you will be well prepared. They cannot defeat you. मतलब of course if they want they can, but what is expected, what they have expected from you, we will work hard so that we achieve at least 4-5 times more than that. Okay, कोई इसमें आप the moment we complete a topic, you practice any question that has been asked in any year, any exam, you will be able to do that. Of course UPSC any paper. One thing which I want to say, many a times you will feel a question in GS mains 2012. अरे ये तो आता ही नहीं है. भाई, it was important that year. It was a current affairs of that year. You are not expected to know the current affairs of from 1707 to 1922. Okay, so it was a current affairs of that year. So you must be able to understand कि there are few questions which are current affairs of that year that is not expected you to do in every year. समझ रहे ना इस बात को? You must be vigilant of that particular fact कि current affairs है. एक बात बिल्कुल सही है, it's a fact that UPSC wants to take young students so that they serve, if they are investing on you, na 10 lakh rupees for training and whatever, so they want you to serve for a Longer term, so what is the only way through which a young aspirant can join civil services? By asking current affairs. So even if they are asking Indus Valley civilization, they are asking a question, how do you think the town planning of Indus Valley can be? Please take your seat. Aye. No issues, no issues. So if you have what you call, how do you think the town planning of Indus Valley civilization can be incorporated in contemporary times? So even if they are asking a history question, they are aligning it with current affairs. How do you think globalization affects old age population? So this was a mains question 2-3 years back. So so current affairs is like, you are not able to do previous year's paper. There is only one reason, because whatever you study, current affairs is extremely important in contemporary times. You must align that with current affairs. Whatever question they are asking from current affairs also. Okay, so books I have dictated. What should be the approach? First you complete NCERT. NCERT is like, आपने कभी सोचा है कि आज खाना खाऊं या नहीं खाऊं? So is that a challenge for you to eat? Okay, so that is basic. After NCERT you have liberty, you can go through Vision IS material, or even if I don't say I know, I have taught 20,000 बच्चों को तो पढ़ाई को, I know कि you will go, then you can go for Lakshmikant and what is being done in the class. You will, उसके बाद लक्ष्मीकांत खोलिएगा, लगेगा क्या चल रहा है मतलब. So that will be you just need to wait for 5-7 days. Please wait. Okay. So then it will be, so you can do that. So you can do Vision IS material and this. Okay. Class notes for polity, since you already have a brilliantly compiled text, being honest, you have many things from conceptual importance and all you may write down. I'll dictate. It is not possible to dictate everything. Whatever is not available anywhere, that without a shadow of doubt I'll be dictating. But everything basic I will not. Nobody dictates. That is why we have given you material. So predominantly you will be referring to the printed material of Vision IS, or if you wish, Lakshmi Kant, along with the class lectures. Class notes you can, I do not say lies कि बस यही पढ़ लो, और क्योंकि उतना नहीं dictate करा पाएंगे. Then this polity will go on till December. Okay, nobody can dictate that, and whatever is truth I will discuss with you, because your result is very important. Okay, so आप उसको refer करेंगे main से पहले, उसमें जो questions हैं conceptual understanding के लिए you can. Otherwise, first you complete NCERTs, stick to these two, either Vision IS printed material and all, and class note also. Class के जाने के बाद you just go through. हाँ, cases point of view से, current affairs point of view से, undoubtedly I will give every single day I read 1 or 2 newspaper at least. So whatever is there, I try to incorporate in current affairs, even something that happened yesterday. So that will bring you with the current thing. Okay. So now we have constitution. Now we have 2 more terms. One term is constitutional. There are 2 terms which are in news. Constitutionalism. That is pronunciated as constitutionalism. So constitutionalism. Okay. और एक term अभी parlance में है. Parlance means अभी usage में है. Like you have, मतलब you have certain colloquial terms. So it is in news like anything. That is constitutional morality. Okay. So what do you mean by ism? Okay. What do you mean by ism? Ism is the phenomena. So if the phenomena of socialism is the community ownership of the wealth, will come these things. Then you have feminism, a belief that men and women are equal. Liberalism, an idea that is more open to change and that is more open to changing the norms. Okay, so that is liberalism. So you have feminism, liberalism, you have socialism, you have Communist Manifesto, a text that was written by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels in 1848. So in that text, the ideology that was propounded by him, if you adhere to that ideology, it will be Marxism. Okay, so is actually a phenomena of an ideology. So constitutionalism is actually the phenomena of constitution. Okay, so this term is absolutely in news, ism of the constitution. So what is constitutionalism? Okay, if anywhere in the world, one term that can replace constitutionalism is limited government. Okay, so limited government. If there is one term that can replace constitutionalism is limited government. So why do we need limited government? Okay, so we went for freedom struggle. Okay, from 10th May 1857 till 15th August 1947. Okay, this was the, although before that also many things happened, but freedom struggle, modern time, this is taken. So what was the purpose of freedom struggle? You will understand now. Okay, what was the purpose of, did we not have government? During British era, did we had governments? Yes. There was a government in India? Yes. But what was so different about that government? Rule of law and, okay, it was ruling by law. Okay, very good. Yeah, you are taking me to a concept. Okay, we'll come to that. Okay, any other? The people of India fought for right of self-determination. We should be master of our fate. The government should respect the aspiration of the people. So please try to understand that what is democracy. Okay, so democracy. Then I will come to constitutionalism. Okay, what is democracy? Cracy means rule. Demo means people. So it is actually people's rule. Okay. Now please listen to, if there are few aristocrat people who are running the society, it shall be aristocracy. If there are few elites, if there is one person who is running the rule, it will be autocracy, yani self rule. So cracy actually is rule and demo is people's rule. So democracy is egalitarian in nature. Matlab, never think that democracy is majoritarian. The tool that we use to achieve democracy may be majoritarian. For first past the post system, proportional representation. In democracy, even the person who is in the last line, he also is asked his views. So the tool that we use to achieve democracy may get majoritarian at times, but democracy is truly equal order. Everybody's views will be taken into consideration. Even the smaller minority shall also be taken into account. So it depends upon the provisions. So democracy ka matlab people's rule hai. Second point, democracy is, in the words, okay, a few more things. Do you think democracy is about elections? A great scholar has said that election is a minuscule part of the democracy. Election is just a periodic evaluation of the government or the party in power. Democracy is much more than elections. Elections are an important backbone of democracy, but democracy is about your governmental accountability towards the people for the entire 5 years. And how the people, what is the most important component for democracy to survive? Dissent. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud says, dissent is the safety valve of democracy. यानी डेमोक्रेसी में का मतलब ही यही है कि आपको शिकायत करने की आजादी होनी चाहिए. So democracy is not about elections only. Elections तो एक periodic evaluation है government का. This is the backbone of democracy. Democracy is 5-year governmental involvement with the people. Why do we need a limited government? अब आते हैं. The people of India fought against the British so that the power of, they should be the fate of their destiny. They should be the master of their fate. So there should be a government that shall be a limited government. For democracy to survive, if the government is having unlimited power, can the democracy survive? No. What will happen? Government will trample upon the rights of the people. So government will, if any organ of the state is having more power or government is having, so it will be government's rule, it will not be people's rule. So for democracy to survive, Freedom National Movement ka motto tha, people should be the fate of master of their fate. For that to happen, the governments must be limited. Any democracy cannot survive for 5 minutes without unlimited government. So what you need is limited. Now, how governments are limited? How governments are limited? Limited, election से तो वो आते हैं, legitimacy मिलती है by the constitution. Constitution, if Article 13 of the Constitution says any law that is in contravenes fundamental right or takes away or abridges fundamental right will be void to the level of contravention. अगर कोई law fundamental rights violate करता है तो उस law को unconstitutional घोषित किया जाएगा. Everywhere in the Constitution, the powers of government, there is a direct mention of judicial review is not there, but Article 13, Article 14, 226, Article 32, Article 131, 132, 133, 134, 136, all highlight towards that. So in a democracy, the real power should lay with the people. And for the power to lay with the people, one thing is very important. Government should be a limited one. No organ of the state should. Now I am reminded of a great scholar, Mr. Palkhiwala. You must have heard about this man. He was a man who was a lawyer as well as an economist. On YouTube, you will find his videos, lectures after the budget. He used to address the population. He was a great scholar in law and economics. He once said, charters of liberty give rise to power and not vice versa. लोगों ने अपनी आजादियों में से कुछ काट कर सरकार को शक्तियां दी है. सरकार की शक्तियों में से हमें आजादी नहीं मिली है. He said charters of liberty give rise to power and it's not vice versa. Now one thing I will tell you, then you will understand. Fundamental rights सुना होगा आपने, मूल अधिकार. From where it has come? You know which was the first country to incorporate fundamental rights? United States of America. अब सुनिए कैसे हुआ. Bill of Rights आया. So USA में there was a federal government that was established. We will see this in federalism. अभी उतना नहीं जाएंगे, बस ये समझिए. एक government बनी. So there were two groups of people. One were federalist, other were non-federalist. Federalist लोग जो थे वो कह रहे थे give too much power to the central government. Federal government मतलब central government. So that it becomes so powerful कि no Western European colonizer, Portuguese, Dutch, English, French will cross the Atlantic and attack us again. जो फेडरलिस्ट थे वो चाहते थे कि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट शुड बी सो पावरफुल कि उनको इतनी पावर दे दो कि कोई भी वेस्टर्न यूरोपियन कंट्री, पोर्टुगीज, डच, इंग्लिश, फ्रेंच, वो क्रॉस करके हमें कोलोनाइज ना करे. नॉन फेडरलिस्ट वर ऑफ द व्यू कि नहीं, if you will give so much powers to the federal government, it will trample upon the rights of the people. So as a matter of compromise between federalist and non-federalist, constitution amendment was brought in USA and Bill of Rights were added. These rights are directly given by the constitution to the citizen. The same constitution which has given birth to the government, same constitution is actually giving right to the people. They both are on equal pedestal. Even if the parliament, the US Congress, जो वहां की parliament है, House of Representatives और Senate, वहां भी दो है, राज्यसभा is Senate, लोकसभा is House of Representatives. If they also want to change, they have to get it ratified by the state and there is a judicial review. Yani it is next to, it is very, very tough to take away a fundamental rights. So fundamental rights क्या है? Simple language में most of the fundamental rights are negative obligation. कुछ देने को नहीं बोल रहा है, कुछ नहीं करने को बोल रहा है. No person shall be discriminated on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth. No person shall be discriminated in public employment on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, domicile, and place of residence. Untouchability is abolished and practice in any form is forbidden. The state shall not confer any title, award, or getting my point. So Article 19, no law that takes away, Article 13, any law that takes away fundamental rights shall not be made. Article 21, no person shall be deprived of life or personal liberty except procedure established by law. So most of the fundamental rights actually they are limitations on the power of government. एक बात बोलिए, अगर आपको कुछ, if you want to say something that will make me happy, do you need freedom of speech and expression? You, even if there is no freedom of speech and expression, you say something, I'll be happy. कि इसने जो कहा वो तो बहुत अच्छी बात कहा, तो मुझे तो खुशी. You need freedom of speech and expression to say something that is not pleasant to the ears. So most of the fundamental rights are nothing but negative obligation on the state. Article 21A, the state shall provide free and compulsory education to the children in the age group 6 to 14 in the manner state be determined by law. So ये क्या है? ये एक positive right है. The state shall establish uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. Article 45, the state shall provide early childhood care to the children in the age group 0 to 6. The state shall take care of the welfare of SC, ST and weaker sections. Article 46. The state shall separate judiciary from executive in public services of the state. The state shall provide right to work. 41. The state shall provide maternity relief. Article 42. The state shall ensure the participation of workers of the management. The state shall establish village panchayat. The state shall minimize concentration of wealth. Most of the directive principles are actually a positive obligation and most of the DP fundamental rights are negative. आपको बोलने के लिए वो ना रोके ये उसको कहा गया है. एक्चुअली तो आप बोलेंगे ही. Getting so you must understand that democracy में government must be limited. Otherwise, if governments become super powerful, then what is the meaning of demo? Who is ruling? Actually, It is the people. So what is constitutionalism? Constitutionalism, simple language mein, it is a limited government where there is a supremacy of the constitution. Yani who is supreme? It is not the government which is supreme. It is the constitution which is supreme, and every organ of the state must adhere to the constitution. So constitutionalism produces limited government. Ab next baat, kyun chahiye limited government? If there is no limited government, then what will happen? Executive with all its power, central armed police forces, defense forces with colossal power at its might will trample upon the rights of the people. So if the executive does something bad, the judiciary will strike down. If the judiciary is doing something bad, the parliament has the power to remove the judges. If the parliament passes 99th amendment, judiciary will actually strike it down. So all the three organs of the state have been separated and they all have been given power कि आपको काम इतना ही, अगर एक ने गलती की तो दूसरा उसको सुधारेगा. अगर पार्लियामेंट ने गलत लॉ पास किया, passes a wrong law, the judiciary. So what is constitutionalism? Constitutionalism means limited government. A government that is not unlimited, but it is actually a limited government. And why do we need limited government? Because the power should be with the people. If we have unlimited government, government will behave in an arbitrary manner. And always remember, in the country like India, the purpose actually is, the governments are not actually there to rule. Governments are actually there to facilitate governance. For logistic purposes and many other higher order of society, we need governments. Otherwise, the real power lays with the people. And one thing, constitution को legitimacy कहां से मिली है? कोई तो पावर दे रहा होगा ना कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को. एक दिन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन खड़ा हो गया, बोला मैं बड़ा हो गया, ऐसा तो नहीं है. Who is giving legitimacy to the constitution? We the people. So final, it is a legal term, final sovereignty lies with the people. People have given power to the constitution, and constitution has given birth to legislature, parliament and all, executive, council of ministers and judiciary. So all of them must be working within the power of the constitution. Kyun? Kyunki if they do not trample upon and encroach, then there will be constitutionalism shall be defeated. And if constitutionalism is defeated, democracy stands defeated. तो purpose क्या था freedom movement का? Government तो पहले भी थी, but the present government must be responsible of the people, for the people and by. As my dear friend said that they were ruling by the law. Ruling by the law मतलब law बना दिया, rule कर रहे. The law is not fair, just and reasonable. कुछ भी law बना दिया. Anyone who wears white shirt at Karol Bagh metro station shall be hanged. So, you know, it is ruling by the law. So, and that law is not deriving legitimacy. Gandhi ji क्या कहे भाई? Gandhi ji ने 6th April 1980 को with 78 people who moved from 12th March 1930, 12th March से 6th April 1930 तक, he moved, and finally there was a law that said कि you cannot make salt. Salt तो यार ऐसी चीज है, नमक के बिना कोई भी चीज आप नहीं खा सकते हैं. So Gandhi ji picked something that was affecting the common masses. एक law कहता था, a law says you cannot make salt. You are living in the coast, there is a salt, but you cannot take that. So do you think it is an inhuman law? Yes. So Gandhi ji, something that affected the masses, Gandhi ji ने salt उठाया और उस law को बेका. It is civil disobedience. You are getting my point. So non-cooperation, जो हमारे साथ जुल्म कर रहा है, हम उसके साथ cooperate नहीं करेंगे. The one who is making mockery of us, that he is not representative or will not. Or boycott governmental colleges, British education, everything. So we will actually not be cooperating with the enemy. So these are the tools of Gandhism. And some of you were asking about the tools. कुछ भी नहीं करना है. Somebody has already done the work. Just go and type synopsis, my experiment with truth. आ जाएगा 8 chapter में synopsis तैयार कर दिया. What are the tools of Gandhism? So Gandhi is a science. Gandhiji is not a kachori table discussion. He's a science. People are studying. Albert Einstein said that people in the future will find it difficult to accept that a man with flesh and blood like Gandhi walked on earth. So he's a science. So please, what are the tools of Gandhism? What is a brief insight into con journal, newspaper mein he has been associated? At least you do that. Now you have constitutionalism. So constitutionalism means limited government. It is a doctrine that promotes the idea that governmental power should be limited by the constitution. You get it. First point. Second point, what ensures constitutionalism? गवर्नमेंटल पावर्स कैसे रेस्ट्रिक्ट होते हैं? You have judicial review. If the government does something wrong, judiciary strikes it down. You have principle of separation of powers. जो स्टेट है उसका एक ऑर्गन लॉ बना रहा है, एक ऑर्गन एग्जीक्यूट कर रहा है और एक ऑर्गन एडजुडिकेट कर रहा है, डिसाइड कर रहा है अगर कोई डिस्प्यूट है तो. सो एक्चुअली सेपरेशन ऑफ पावर क्या है? सो सेपरेशन ऑफ पावर्स, जुडिशियल रिव्यू, एंड यू हैव फंडामेंटल राइट्स. क्या है? मेनी ऑफ द फंडामेंटल राइट्स आर पॉजिटिव इन नेचर, जैसे आर्टिकल 21A, बट मोस्ट ऑफ देम आर negative. No person within the territory of India shall be denied equality before law or equal protection of laws. So क्या कह रहा है? स्टेट को मना कर रहा है कि किसी के साथ, and there are certain positive, the state can make special provision for women and children. Article 15, you have in Delhi metro seats reserved. Article 16, the state can make special provision in public employment for weaker sections. So all these things we'll be seeing. So constitutionalism is a doctrine that believes that governmental power should be limited by a constitution. What are the tools that ensure constitutionalism? Separation of powers, judicial review, बहुत से tools है. Right to information, गवर्नमेंटल पावर को चेक नहीं कर रहा है, राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन. सो दीज आर द टूल्स. एक तो हो गया कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म इज अ डॉक्ट्रिन, फिलॉसफी, आइडियोलॉजी, थिंकिंग, व्हाटएवर यू थिंक, which believes that government should be limited. If the government is unlimited, what will happen? फिर तो पूरा फ्रीडम मूवमेंट पे पानी फिर गया. What was the purpose of freedom national movement? The purpose of freedom national movement was to make us the masters of our fate. Do you think ये था? Otherwise, did we not have a government? But that was not sensitive to the aspirations of the people. So final sovereignty lies with whom? The Constitution of India derives legitimacy from where? It derives its legitimacy from the people of India. So who is giving power to the Constitution? People. We, the people of India, although it is said in some legal circles that people are the final sovereign, but they are sleeping sovereign. वो रोज नहीं जाते हैं. Real legal sovereign is Constitution, sleeping sovereign is people. But you will always go for this term. Where does the final sovereignty lies? Final sovereignty lies with the people. ये तो हो गया कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म इज अ डॉक्ट्रिन. वो हमेशा ये बात बोलती है गवर्नमेंट शुड बी लिमिटेड. गवर्नमेंट शुड ऑल्सो बी ऑलवेज बी रेस्ट्रिक्टेड बाय द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. यानी उसको उतनी ही शक्तियां हैं जितना कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने दिया है. वाई इट इज लाइक गवर्नमेंट? बिकॉज अदर टू ऑर्गन्स ऑफ द स्टेट हैव लिमिटेड स्पेक्यूलेशन टू व्हाट यू कॉल डिस्टर्ब यू, बट द एग्जीक्यूटिव हैज मोर पावर टू डिस्टर्ब यू. वाई? Executive has colossal powers at its financial powers. It has powers now. It has armed forces, defense forces. So governmental, although it power should be limited, all the organs of the state must work in restricted fashion. And most importantly, you have separation of powers, judicial review. You have so many things, right to information. You have office of comptroller and auditor general. It also promotes constitutionalism. Government ने खर्चा किया, CAG ने audit किया. Many of you would be joining Indian Audit and Account Services. So एक तरह से government के power को restrict कर रहा है. So this is constitutionalism, restrictive government. And one word on earth that can replace constitutionalism is limited government. Now I am coming to another term, constitutional morality. Okay. अब है कि पहले सुनिए. How many people in the society believe that sexual relationship between people of the same gender, consensual sex between people of the same gender is correct? Do you think our society has accepted that? No. What is the societal morality? What is the societal morality? Societal morality क्या है? समाज की क्या मोरालिटी है कि how do the society sees? So getting my point. So what is the thinking of the society? The society, lesbian, gay, transgenders, bisexuals, all these. So the societal morality is that consensual sex, even if it is consensual between two people of the same gender, and even if it is in private, that is, the society still is not agreeing to it. But don't you think that Article 21, right to life, when interpreted in a fair manner, gives you right to sexual orientation? So there is a clash between constitutional morality and societal morality. Who will prevail? Constitutional morality. Okay, second point. So there is a provision, there is a tradition that says that if you instantly pronounce what you call talak, 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 so the marriage, which is a what you call contract Marriage is a contract. We'll see when we do Shaira Bano, Shah Bano case and protection of rights of Muslim women on Marriage Act 2019, then we'll see these things. So the Supreme Court of India in Shaira Bano case ruled that instant triple talaq is not unconstitutional. If you say talaq, wait for a month. Then say talaq, wait for a month. Then say talaq, then it is perfectly legal and constitutional because it is a provision. And it can be given in between if there is a what you call mutual coordination or cheezein theek ho gayi, then it's good. If you immediately say talaq, talaq and talaq, then it is unconstitutional. So Supreme Court in Shaira Bano case ruled that instant triple talaq is instant. समझ रहे हैं ना, अंतर है. There is a talaq ehsan and talaq hasan. We'll अपना नहीं जाना है, okay. But ये समझिए कि instant triple talaq is not unconstitutional. Only instant triple talaq is unconstitutional. Still talaq, how is talaq given in Muslims? You say talaq, you send a notice after a month. In between, if there is a family members involved, it is still allowed. Only instant triple talaq is unconstitutional. So, for example, there is a society, any society, that believes that instant triple talaq is perfectly legal. It is as per our religious norms. So again, there is a clash between societal morality and constitutional morality. Now you have Kerala Temple Authorization of Entry Rules, rule number 3, which says any women in the age group 10 to 50 cannot enter Sabrimala temple complex because Lord Ayappa, who practices celibacy, it will get disturbed. So this is a fact. So the Young Lawyers Association challenged this Kerala Temple Authorization of Entry rules, rule 3B, they challenged this in Supreme Court as violative of Article 25, the women's right to practice religion, Article 14, right to be treated equally, and Justice Chanchud added another right that it is untouchability on the basis of mensurating. So Article 17 also he has invoked. So the point is, कि again there is a clash between societal morality and constitutional morality. You are getting this? So अब आते हैं डॉक्टर अंबेडकर पे. He was the term who brought this. This was a mains question 2022. This same thing I have been repeating every single time, and the UPSC has also asked. So this is again and again they will ask. In 2017 they asked the question on Delhi government. 18 में फिर पूछ दिया. 2013 they asked the question, what is associated, which all places are associated with the life of Gautam Buddha? Okay, वो थोड़ा tricky question था. Okay, next year they asked the same question and some people got them wrong both the time क्योंकि यूपीएससी ने आंसर की नहीं दिया नहीं देखा. Getting my point? So they may ask a question. Many a time they make questions from the options. If you sit consistently with yourself, you will definitely be able to decode everything. But sitting with yourself is not that easy. Okay, so it is not about intelligence. So only the people who are from IIT, IIM and many. So of course it is not about intelligence. It is about perseverance. And examination hall में 4 or 5 question ऐसे होंगे. I'll bring someday previous years. वो question ही नहीं है. They are just testing your patience. एक option उसमें ऐसा है कि cow invented Facebook. Getting my, so it is like कुछ इस तरह का एक option है. The moment you eliminate, you will get an answer. It is just checking कि when the person will become collector, कुछ हुआ तो. Getting my, so the person in the examination hall is 4 or 5 question कसम से they ask every year कि इतना easy दुनिया की कोई book नहीं पढ़ना है उसके लिए. कोई बस you need to be the moment exam से पहले Red Bull पी लिया एकदम मतलब टेंशन में आ गए तो फिर वो 4 क्वेश्चन आपको चिल करके एकदम सुकून से मस्त से रहना है. उसके लिए कैसा होगा? खुद पे कॉन्फिडेंस. एंड इफ यू खुद पे कॉन्फिडेंस लाना है ना, और बाकी तो रिश्तेदार को बिल्कुल नहीं बताना है तैयारी कर रहे हैं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं. इवन इफ दे नो, नहीं अब तो छोड़ दिया, मैं तो अभी छोड़ दिया. क्योंकि इफ यू विल टेल देम, यू थिंक कि यू टेल देम कि अभी से इज्जत शुरू कर दे, ठीक है, अरे भाई जब करना होगा करेंगे, अभी जस्ट टेल देम ना कोई तैयारी नहीं चली. ओके, सो देन यू विल गेट, देन यू विल क्वालिफाई, दे विल गेट टू नो, यू नो. ओके, लीव दैट. सो सो देयर इज अ सेइंग दैट ये खुशबू छुपती थोड़ी है, वो तो हो ही जाएगी ना. सो एनीवेज, सो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी. So Dr. Ambedkar mentioned this term once in 1948 in his speech Draft Constitution. So in this speech he says that there is a person called Grote, Grote. He was the person who actually coined the term constitutional morality. So Dr. Ambedkar quotes him and says कि constitutional morality is paramount reverence to the constitution. मतलब the ideologies and the principles of the constitution that is written in the constitution, that must be respected, even those things which are explicit and those things which are implicit. I'll come to everything. Like it is, I'll say that tomorrow we'll meet at 5 p.m. 5 o'clock. Nobody comes. Says, sir, aapne 5 bola, hum to subah aaye the. You all know that I asked you to meet at 5 p.m., not 5 a.m. So actually, what is direct, Dr. Ambedkar said, paramount reference to the ideologies and the principles of the constitution. Matlab, if the inner ideology that is not explicit, you must be committed to that also. So many a times everything is not written. Second, he says, in any political system, differences are bound to happen. State of West Bengal versus Union of India, there is a case. So you have state of Kerala versus Keshwananda Sripad Gopala, so Keshwananda Bharti. So there will be differences, but Dr. Ambedkar said constitutional morality is that those differences should be solved through constitutional means. There should be an inner, what you call inner feeling to develop, what you call solve those problems. So constitutional morality is paramount reverence to the ideology of the constitution, not only those ideologies that are explicitly written, those ideologies that can be implicitly inferred. Yani dil se izzat karna hai. समझ रहे हैं ना बात को? He says, and it's like a father asks for a glass of water from the child, elder child. Said, beta pani lana. He says, ki no, I will not bring. So he says to the second child, says, अरे बहुत बुरा है पापा, आप खुद ही ले लो. So it's like, so actually it is like there is no, it is, he never asked from the second child, but he also is expected to bring. You are getting it? So Dr. Ambedkar said that paramount reverence to the ideologies and principles of the constitution, everybody must be committed to the idea of constitution. If there is a disturbance, if there is a dichotomy, if there is a difference, it must be solved through constitutional methods. Ab aate hain 25th November 1949, the last time Dr. Ambedkar stood on the dais of Constituent Assembly. He says, civil disobedience, non-cooperation are bloody methods of revolution. They are bloody methods of revolution. They are grammar of anarchy. You must have read the speech is called as grammar of anarchy. उन्होंने कहा independent India में there is no space for non-cooperation and civil disobedience, because non-cooperation and civil disobedience as a tools are bloody methods of revolution. They have no place in modern India. Why? Now you have Supreme Court. Now you have freedom of speech and expression, Article 19(1)(a), right to assemble peacefully without arms, protest कीजिए, Article 19(1)(b), right to form an association, union or cooperative, Article 19(1)(c), right to travel throughout the country, 19(1)(d), right to reside and settle, 19(1)(e), right to property has been deleted, 19(1)(f), and right to practice any trade, occupation, profession, 19(1)(g). So you have a fundamental right. आप Supreme Court जाइए, go to Supreme Court. You have a right to protest, you have a right to form an association, you have a right to actually vote and change the government. So Dr. Ambedkar on 25th November 1949, in one of the most famous speech he has ever given, that is called Grammar of Anarchy, he says, civil disobedience and non-cooperation are bloody methods of revolution. They do not have place in independent India. So these methods must be abandoned, otherwise they are bloody methods of, they will lead to the grammar of anarchy. So we don't want anarchy. There is a Supreme Court, High Court, Constitution. You adhere to the spirit of the Constitution and solve your problem through constitutional means. So when Delhi government and Union government, Lieutenant Governor has an issue. Okay, अब क्यों है भाई? Article 239 capital letter A और capital letter A ये डील करता है दिल्ली से. 239 AA. Okay, so AA capital letters कहता है लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर शैल एक्ट ऑन द एड एंड एडवाइस ऑफ काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स. जो दिल्ली की जो सरकार के मंत्री हैं, काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स जो है मंत्रिमंडल के, इस पर ही मंत्री परिषद के रिकमेंडेशन पे वो काम करेंगे. अपने से पब्लिक ऑर्डर और पुलिस और लैंड को छोड़कर बाकी सारे मुद्दों पर वो क्या करेंगे? मंत्रियों की बात मानेंगे. सुना है आपने डिफरेंसेस हुए एलजी के? सुना है? ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कहता है आर्टिकल 239A कि मंत्री परिषद की बात पर ही चलेंगे एलजी. नीचे कहता है Article 239A, if there is a difference of opinion between Council of Ministers and LG, the matter shall be referred to the President. And the President shall take a call and it will be done further as per the direction of the President. फिर कहता है कि अगर urgent है तो LG can take any decision. So actually if there is a difference of opinion between the LG and the Council of Ministers, matter कहाँ जाएगा? प्रेसिडेंट, ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कह रहा है। अब क्या है, हर मैटर प्रेसिडेंट के पास जाने लगा। So Supreme Court on 4th July 2018 says there is a constitutional morality. This difference of opinion is a rare occasion. This must not become a routine exercise. रोज इस provision को use करके, so it must be a, so Supreme Court late, then further in next paragraph says constitutional morality का तो ध्यान रखिए, चीजें जो लिखी हुई नहीं है उनकी भी इज्जत कीजिए। सो पैरामाउंट रिवरेंस टू द, जो बातें कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के अंदर प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ इक्वालिटी, getting my point, principles of equality, सारी बातें सीधा, you are getting my point. For example, related to women, so if there is a practice violative of article 14 or any such practice violative of article 25, women's right, so जो constitution के अंदर unwritten बातें हैं, what is the color of honesty, किस कलर की है, एग्जिस्ट करती है या नहीं करती है, एग्जिस्ट करती है ऑनेस्टी, बिल्कुल करती है, पर कलर नहीं, पंक्चुअलिटी, डिसिप्लिन, indiscipline, honesty, what you call conduct, character, values, morality, all these things exist or not? Can we touch them? कि कल honesty मिली थी, बहुत अच्छी लग रही थी, ऐसा बोल सकते हैं? हाँ, तो नहीं बोल सकते. So what is the point saying? कि so Dr. Ambedkar says the same thing. Those ideologies and principles of the Constitution that can be inferred from understanding of the Constitution, उनकी भी इज्जत करनी है. और अगर किसी को, जैसे स्टेट और सेंटर में लड़ाई हो रही है, so it must be solved through constitutional means. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने तड़का ऐड कर दिया कि if there is a difference in a constitutional morality versus social morality, who will prevail? Example, IPC 377, Indian Penal Code 377. Contrary to the popular perception, it has not been decriminalized. IPC 377 को नवतेज जौहर केस में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने खत्म नहीं किया है. Many people think that IPC 377, no. Only IPC 377 deals with unnatural sex. So any sex that does not lead to creation of offspring or interspecies sex is still an offense. Supreme Court ने बस इतना कहा, consensual sex between adults in private, consensual sex between adults in private of the same gender is no longer a criminal offense. यानी कोई भी दो लोग जो सेम ही जेंडर के हैं, अगर उनमें कंसेंसुअल सेक्स होता है प्राइवेट में, वो अब एक क्रिमिनल ऑफेंस नहीं है. क्यों? क्योंकि आर्टिकल 21 राइट टू लाइफ में, जीने के अधिकार में, आपको सेक्सुअल ओरिएंटेशन रखने का भी अधिकार है. सो आईपीसी 377 हैज नॉट बीन डिक्लेयर्ड अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल. ओनली दैट इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ आईपीसी 377 which actually criminalizes consensual sex between two adults of the same gender has been declared unconstitutional. Still there are unnatural sexes that are still a criminal offense. You're getting why? There is a constitutional morality जो कहती है there should be a right to sexual orientation. Article 21, right to sexual orientation. Anybody, any sexual, but there is a societal morality which says people of the same gender should not marry. So actually there is a clash between societal morality and constitutional morality. Then who will prevail? So constitution के अंदर से निकलती हुई वो बातें जो सीधी नहीं है पर समझ में आ रहा है करना, यही है, that is constitutional morality. And I quoted Dr. Ambedkar that if there is a problem, problems होंगे, क्यों नहीं होंगे? Texas, I've read so many cases, Texas versus federal government. Texas का केस है यूएस की फेडरल सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से, होंगे, कहां नहीं होते? But it should be solved through, you do not have a right to protest, right to assemble peacefully without arms, article 19(1)(b), right to freedom of speech and expression, कार्टून बनाइए, व्हाट्सएप पे मैसेज किए, कुछ भी within the permitted sanctity. Okay, so liberty is responsible use of freedom under rule of law. Article right to form an association, association बनाइए, कुछ भी association बना दीजिए, रोज हंगामा association. So getting, so it is actually article 19(1)(c), 19(1)(d). So rights हैं, पर you must exercise those rights. And Dr. Ambedkar said this in Constituent Assembly. The non-cooperation and civil disobedience are bloody methods of revolution. They will lead to grammar of anarchy. फिर क्या हो जाएगा समाज में? एनार्की जो आएगा वो, अगर मॉडर्न इंडिया में सिविल डिसोबीडियंस आ गया तो क्या होगा? What will happen if there is a civil? You will go out and say Epidemics Act 1896 मैं नहीं मानता, मैंने 1897 मैं नहीं पहनूंगा मास्क. Section 188 IPC, I will disobey public servant. Section 144, Section 141 unlawful assembly IPC, मैं unlawful assembly लगाऊंगा. So if there is a civil disobedience in modern India, what will happen? हाँ, अनार्की नहीं आ जाएगी? नॉन कॉपरेशन, सरकार से आप कॉपरेट ही नहीं कीजिएगा। सरकार सेंसस एक्ट 1948 में घर भेजे, आपके सेंसस करने मूड नहीं है। So do you think in there is a space for non-cooperation and civil disobedience in modern India? No, that is why Dr. Ambedkar said. So there is a Supreme Court, there is a petition pending in Supreme, without a shadow of doubt. On 25th June 1975, Mrs. Indira Gandhi recommended to then President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed ji to impose national emergency under Article 352 of the Constitution on the grounds of internal disturbance, which was revoked on January elections. On 23rd March 1977, Morarji Desai became the first non-Congress Prime Minister. She lost election and there was a Shah Commission which found emergency as unconstitutional. मतलब इलीगल, एंड देन लेटर ऑन 44th अमेंडमेंट ने टर्म ही डिलीट कर दिया। गलत था, बिल्कुल गलत था, पर देयर इज अ जुडिशरी ना। आप फिर आप प्रोटेस्ट कीजिए, गवर्नमेंट शुड अलाउ यू टू प्रोटेस्ट। इफ इट इज नॉट अलाउइंग यू, यू विल गो टू जुडिशरी। इट इज नॉट कि यू विल नॉट टेक लॉ इनटू योर ओन हैंड्स। अगर आप बोलेंगे नहीं मूड नहीं है, मैं सेक्शन 14A नेशनल रजिस्टर फॉर इंडियन सिटीजन, सिटीजनशिप एक्ट 1955, क्या आपको फॉलो नहीं करना है लॉ? Citizenship Act, what you call deprivation of citizenship में ground है disloyalty to the constitution. Disloyalty to the constitution is a ground on which your citizenship, you can be deprived of your citizenship. तो जब citizenship नहीं, फिर getting my point, फिर क्या UPSC? So it is very important to understand कि there is a constitutional morality, commitment to the ideas and principles of the constitution, and if there is an issue, it should be solved through constitutional means, through judiciary, through freedom of speech and expression. And if there is a clash between constitutional morality and social morality, who will prevail? Constitutional morality. And finally, George Grote, whom Dr. Ambedkar quoted, कि constitutional morality is paramount reverence to the कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। मतलब पैरामाउंट रेफरेंस समझते हैं, नतमस्तक, यानी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के आइडियोलॉजी की दिल से भी और पूरे तरीके से इज्जत करना, तभी समाज में ऑर्डर बरकरार रहेगा। सिविल डिसोबीडियंस शुरू हो गया, फिर तो कोई सेंसस नहीं करा रहा है, कोई सिटीजनशिप नहीं मान रहा है, कोई मास्क नहीं पहन रहा है, एपिडेमिक्स एक्ट, सो कोई रोड पर, बीच रोड पे लगा लिया वहीं पर अपनी दुकान बीच में ही कि मुझे नहीं, मुझे म्यूनिसिपल लॉ से कोई मतलब नहीं। सो यू आर एक्चुअली, देयर इज नो स्पेस फॉर सिविल डिसोबीडियंस एंड नॉन कोऑपरेशन इन modern India, and this not independent India. This is what Dr. Ambedkar says. You can just go and search 25th November 1949 grammar of anarchy. There is one more speech, that is annihilation of caste. ये तो सबने सुना होगा। Actually Dr. Ambedkar was invited by जात पात तोड़क मंडल, एक लाहौर में एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन था जात पात तोड़क मंडल, which invited Dr. Ambedkar as the chairman. So Dr. Ambedkar was asked to give his speech beforehand so that it can be printed and distributed among the members. So उन्होंने अपनी speech भेजी, तो उन्होंने बोला कि इसमें थोड़ा सा make certain changes. So Dr. Ambedkar said, no, I will not change a comma also. So his invitation as a chairman was withdrawn. The speech which was actually to be delivered as Dat Pat Torak Mandal was printed, and now we know that as annihilation of caste. Okay, so these annihilation of caste, the 25th November 1949 draft speech constitution, 25th November 1949, so undoubtedly, without a shadow of doubt, everyone must read. And also about Gandhiji, which is ancillary but definitely important. So please write constitutionalism. Constitutionalism. Right? It leads to limitations on general governmental powers to prevent the exercise of, it leads to limitations on general governmental powers. It leads to limitations on general governmental powers to prevent the exercise of arbitrary decisions, to prevent the exercise of arbitrary decisions. अब इस लाइन को आराम से रुक के एक बार पढ़िए, समझिएगा नहीं क्या फायदा, मतलब फिर तो चतुर रामालिंगन हो जाएगा। चलिए माय फ्रेंड आप बताइए, क्या नाम है आपका? शोभित, शौवनिक, ओके शौवनिक, टेल मी। हाँ कोई हाँ, लिमिट देम, यानी व्हाट इज आर्बिटरी? मन मर्जी से, तो मन की मर्जी नहीं चलेगी। पहले क्या था? रेक्स इज लेक्स, पूरी दुनिया घूमती थी रेक्स इज लेक्स। यूके में कंसेप्ट था रेक्स इज लेक्स, आपने सुना ही होगा, रेक्स इज लेक्स मतलब किंग इज लॉ। एंड आफ्टर 1215 एडी मैग्ना कार्टा वी हैव लेक्स इज रेक्स, लॉ इज किंग। पहले द वर्ल्ड वाज रिवॉल्विंग अराउंड द कंसेप्ट रेक्स इज लेक्स, किंग इज लॉ। नाउ वी हैव लेक्स इज रेक्स, लॉ इज द किंग। सो आर्बिटरी यानी मन मर्जी से किंग नहीं। मैग्ना कार्टा का तो नाम सुना, वील कम टू मैग्ना कार्टा। नेक्स्ट यू राइट, it leads to limited government, it leads to limited government. The goals to achieve constitutionalism are as follows: it leads to limited government. The goals to achieve constitutionalism are as follows. बताइए कुछ गोल्स। A, the goals to achieve constitutionalism are as follows. A, बताइए क्या होना चाहिए? जुडिशियल रिव्यू, अगर गवर्नमेंट कुछ गलत करेगी तो जुडिशरी उसको रिव्यू करेगा। प्लीज राइट जुडिशियल रिव्यू। और माय फ्रेंड सेड अ वेरी गुड लाइन, रूल ऑफ लॉ। किसका रूल है? गवर्नमेंट का रूल है कि लॉ का रूल है? लॉ का। द रूल इज दैट ऑफ लॉ एंड लॉ इज चेक्ड बाय सुप्रीम कोर्ट टू बी फेयर, जस्ट एंड रीजनेबल इफ चैलेंज। प्लीज राइट रूल ऑफ लॉ। एनीवन कैन, बताइए। हाँ, एनीवन कैन, यू आर थिंकिंग एनीवन कैन मेक एनी लॉ एंड रूल। सो रूल ऑफ लॉ, रूल बहुत सही। इसके लिए करंट अफेयर्स के क्लास में सिर्फ यही रूल ऑफ लॉ डे। रूल ऑफ लॉ के तीन कंपोनेंट हैं, रूल ऑफ लॉ के तीन बेटे हैं। इक्वालिटी बिफोर लॉ, एवरीवन शुड बी इक्वल बिफोर लॉ। लॉ ऐसा नहीं कहेगा कि व्हाइट शर्ट पीपल वुड बी हैंग्ड, रेड शर्ट वुड बी अलाउड टू लिव। सो इक्वल, रूल ऑफ लॉ के बच्चे हैं इक्वालिटी बिफोर लॉ, प्रीडोमिनेंस ऑफ लीगल स्पिरिट, there should be certain rights that shall be what you call safeguarded, and the law should also, under all the circumstances, it should be fair, just and reasonable. So rule of law ka matlab law should be fair, just and reasonable, and who is there to check? Judiciary. Okay, so there is a judiciary. So rule of law कह देने से ही नहीं कि law should be equal, fair, just and reasonable also. ठीक है, next you write। और बताइए गवर्नमेंटल पावर्स कैसे ये होते हैं? हाँ, राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन। चलिए, और एक बताइए ऑर्गन ऑफ द स्टेट। वेरी गुड, सेपरेशन ऑफ पावर्स, एक्सेलेंट। प्लीज राइट सेपरेशन ऑफ पावर्स, राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन। सेपरेशन ऑफ पावर्स, राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन। ओके, आज कुछ हुआ ही नहीं यार, चलता ही रहता। एनीवेज, सो प्लीज राइट नेक्स्ट। अब एक पैराग्राफ लिखिए, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म promotes democracy wherein, constitutionalism promotes democracy wherein there is a limited government, promotes democracy wherein there is a limited government, devoid of, लिमिटेड गवर्नमेंट, डिवॉइड मतलब समझते हैं, वंचित हो जाना, ठीक है, उस चीज से महरूम हो जाना, नहीं होना उसके पास। डिवॉइड ऑफ, लिमिटेड गवर्नमेंट डिवॉइड ऑफ आर्बिटरी पावर्स, डिवॉइड ऑफ आर्बिटरी पावर्स and now you underline, all organs of the state and all organs of the state devoid of arbitrary powers, and all organs of the state shall adhere and all organs of the state shall adhere मतलब follow करना, जानते हैं, adhere and subscribe to the principles of the constitution, adhere and subscribe to the principles and spirit of the constitution, principles and spirit of the constitution. ओके, सुनिए, एक बहुत ही इंटेलेक्चुअल क्वेश्चन कहीं मैंने सुना, बहुत अच्छी बात कही किसी ने. व्हाट बेस्ट डिस्क्राइब्स इंडिया? भारत को सबसे, इफ देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन प्रीलिम्स में, अब यही पूछ रहे हैं पूरा कंसेप्चुअल क्वेश्चन, पूरा क्वेश्चन, क्योंकि दे हैव चेंज, कोई भी रट लेगा. व्हाट इज द इलेक्टोरल कॉलेज ऑफ प्रेसिडेंट? प्रेसिडेंट के इलेक्शन में कौन कौन वोट देते हैं? दम है. कोई किसी को भी बुक थमा दीजिए, बोलिए कि सुबह तक बताना बाबू, 7th का बच्चा उसको याद करके बता देगा. सो व्हाट दे आर आस्किंग नाउ इज the values of the constitution, how conceptually they trap you, and one or two questions every year they will give, where there will be a debate, and whatever they give is the answer key. You know this ना? ये honestly मैं बता दे रहा हूं, ठीक है? कोई इसमें नहीं कि कोई भी ऐसी आंसर की पृथ्वी पे नहीं है जिसका 100 में 100 क्वेश्चन. After having all the internet, everything, you can go and search all the answer keys of 2020 and the answer key that was released by UPSC in 2021. एक भी आंसर की ऐसी नहीं है. You go and search today, which will have 100. क्योंकि 1 or 2 question UPSC wants, जो हम बोलेंगे, it's like Faisal Khan, जो हम बोलेंगे वही होगा. So it is like 1 or 2 questions. We must not. What was the cutoff? 92.77. Less than 50%. तो क्यों अब उसको भी सही करना है? तो ये तो मतलब a wise man ignorance is bliss, so a wise man ignores. ओके, सो उसको चिल करना, उस पर कुछ नहीं. और यूपीएससी ने 2 आंसर खुद ही वापस ले लिए. एक में नॉन कोऑपरेशन वाज रिटन इन इंग्लिश, और हिंदी में सिविल डिसोबीडियंस लिखा था. और एक साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी का, आई डोंट नो, प्रेशर कुकर करके कुछ हुआ था, कंट्रोवर्सी. सो दे 2 क्वेश्चन, सो 1 or 2 क्वेश्चन दे विल गिव, वेयर दे विल हैव द फाइनल से. उस पे कोई भी टेंशन नहीं लेनी है. एंड कट ऑफ इज लेस देन 50. सो स्कोर करना, ऐसे भी मार्क्स ऐड नहीं हो रहा है प्रीलिम्स का, तो दिल पे भी नहीं लेना है ज्यादा, ठीक है? सो यू हैव, सो व्हाट डिड यू राइट लास्ट? Spirit of the constitution. Please write full stop. In constitutionalism, the governments work in restrictive manner to the extent empowered by the constitution, class has stopped. एक जगह कहीं इंटरनेट गया होगा. अच्छा, एक बात मुझे बताइए, इफ देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन इन प्रीलिम्स कि ओके, which best describes the Indian state? ये एक क्वेश्चन आएगा. सोशलिस्ट, ओके, इफ दिस इज द क्वेश्चन कि which best, अभी यूपीएससी क्या क्वेश्चन दे रही, अब वो दौर गया कि यूपीएससी विल आस्क अ क्वेश्चन दैट कि what you call any such factual question that fundamental rights are in which part, 3, 4, 4A. अब वो दौर गया. अब they are asking question which will invoke your interest. How do you think globalization affects old age population? वहीं पर बैठकर सोचना है और वहीं पे बैठकर लिखना है. अब वो दौर गया. What are the functions of finance commission? ओके, अब उसको तो वैसे भी क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, लेकिन 2-3 क्वेश्चन ऐसे पूछा ना, कितना, जैसे ही टफ क्वेश्चन आया, यू शुड सेलिब्रेट 2 के जो तुरंत मिठाई बांट दीजिए. इमेजिन टफ, ये तो कम है, टू द पावर 10 कर देना चाहिए. जो टैलेंटेड है उसके लिए चीजें हलवा हो गई ना. इफ यू आर वर्किंग हार्ड, यू सिट डाउन एंड यू डू, द एवरेज क्राउड विल नॉट बी एबल टू राइट. इज इट टफ फॉर यू और फॉर एवरीवन? एवरीवन. सो इफ इट इज अ टफ क्वेश्चन, यू शुड सेलिब्रेट. कि अब तो मेरे लिए चीजें आसान हो गई. आई एम वेल प्रिपेयर्ड. यू थिंक 5 minutes एंड असैसिनेट द पेपर. हाँ, so obviously 5-7 minutes you think if you are well prepared. और easy पूछेगा तो फिर तो जिससे मिलिएगा वो भी देता रहेगा. 130 तो आ ही रहे. Like anyways, so we have which best describes Indian state? आई एनीवेज छोड़िए, ठीक है। ए बी, लिबरल डेमोक्रेटिक स्टेट, लिबरल डेमोक्रेटिक स्टेट, सोशलिस्ट स्टेट, ओके, ऑलवेज फेडरल और नन ऑफ द अबव। और यहां पे कुछ भी लिख दे, ऑलवेज फेडरल या कैरेक्टराइज्ड बाय, कैरेक्टराइज्ड बाय, या ऐसे कर देते हैं इसको, कुछ भी कैपिटलिस्ट कर देते हैं, चलिए। सो विच, एक ऑप्शन तो इजी देते ही हैं, H1N1 फ्लू पूछ के फंसा लिया था, नीति आयोग का फुल फॉर्म पूछ के फंसा चुके हैं भाई। दे विल गिव 1 or 2 क्वेश्चन सिर्फ ये टेस्ट करने के लिए कि जब when you will become civil servant there would be challenges and nobody would be there with you। अभी तो है ना कि जैसे ही डाउट आया नहीं, गूगल, आग लगी है गूगल कीजिएगा, आग लगी है। So anyways, so you have liberal, somebody asked me that sir which medium is best, English medium or Hindi medium? I said कि आग लगेगी कौन मीडियम वाला पहले बुझाएगा, जो समझदार है वो बुझाएगा। So language is just a mean of communication, nothing else. It is the people who have changed the world, who have developed vaccine, who developed so many things. They come from various linguistic background. So it is the idea that has always helped the world. Okay. Varna, you see the people, many people. So it is, language is nothing. Of course, there is a thing that the development of knowledge in English is relatively more. So you get more access, the quality of literature that is being produced undoubtedly unparalleled है, इसीलिए language has an edge। otherwise समझदार लोग किसी भी मीडियम से आग लगेगी तो इंग्लिश मीडियम वाला या हिंदी मीडियम वाला, समझदार बुझाएगा आग। anyways, which best describes the Indian state? Liberal democratic state. Why? Because fundamental rights are fundamental. Okay, so this is the best definition. Okay, now you write constitutional morality. Constitutional morality. Please write. The term constitutional morality, the term constitutional morality, the term constitutional morality has been, the term constitutional morality has been into news due to the frequent use of term, due to the frequent use in, has been into news due to the frequent news use in Supreme Court judgments like Young Lawyers Association case, Young Lawyers Association case, ब्रैकेट में लिखिए यंग लॉयर्स एसोसिएशन केस, ब्रैकेट में लिखिए सबरीमाला केस, ठीक है, और कॉमा दीजिए नवतेज जौहर केस, नवतेज जौहर केस, नवतेज जौहर केस ब्रैकेट में लिखिए rights of LGBT and right of sexual orientation, right of LGBT and right of sexual orientation, कॉमा, ब्रैकेट क्लोज करके कॉमा दीजिए, लिखिए ट्रिपल तलाक केस और शायरा बानो केस, not Shah, Shaira Bano. Shaira Bano case. First was Shah Bano. The second was Shaira Bano. First was in 1985. Okay. So समझिए, लिखिए Shaira Bano case, etc. प्लीज पॉइंट वाइज लिखिए, एग्जाम में एकदम जीएस में उसको मेहनत नहीं करना है, उसको सजा के दीजिए. गेटिंग माय? Invoke his interest now. For example, you start an essay and you write there was a man called Suresh. Okay. And you don't write anything. Invigilator will die. Huh? क्या बोलना चाह रहा था? So you invoke his interest, keep him engrossed. You just write कि there was a lady working in a forest और उसका नाम लिख दीजिए. उसके बाद you must start with an anecdote. और पहले ही आप लिखे constitutional moralities, तो वो already he is evaluating, तो you must write an anecdote और it will immediately, उसके बाद बीच बीच में उसको कहानी देते रहिए. ठीक है? तो अपने पर्सनल लाइफ से, then only essay will be interesting ना. So you must know to, मैं आपको नहीं जानता हूं, बस आपकी कॉपी है सामने, उससे मुझे जज करना है. इट मस्ट बी वेरी ब्यूटीफुल एंड ऑलवेज गो थ्रू द आंसर स्क्रिप्ट्स ऑफ टॉपर्स. सब काम किया हुआ है ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द टॉपिक्स पे. व्हाट इज द व्यू, हाउ टू राइट, इट इज गिवन विजन आईएएस वेबसाइट. उसके लिए फिर तो मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. लिखिए तो नेक्स्ट लिखिए, क्या लिखा आपने? एटसेट्रा. प्लीज राइट. द टर्म कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी was used by Dr. Ambedkar in Constituent Assembly. The term constitutional morality was used by Dr. Ambedkar in Constituent Assembly, wherein he quoted Grote, saying that it is, wherein he quoted Grote saying that it is paramount reverence to the constitution. It is paramount reverence. Reverence मतलब इज्जत करना, रेवर करना मतलब नतमस्तक हो जाना. Paramount reverence to the constitution. Full stop. Next point you write constitutional morality. अब CM कर लीजिए. Constitutional morality promotes commitment towards the ideologies and principles of the Constitution. Commitment towards the ideologies and principles of the Constitution. Commitment towards the ideologies and principles of the Constitution and commitment towards the ideologies and principles of the Constitution, and any dispute or difference must be solved through constitutional means. Any dispute or difference must be solved through constitutional means. समझ रहे हैं ना? Now you put up full stop and write constitutional means. उन्होंने क्या कहा अंबेडकर जी ने लास्ट डे जब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन तैयार हो गया? He said, however good a constitution we make, if the people working on it are a bad lot, they will make bad out of it. However bad a constitution we make, if the people who are working on it are good, they will make good out of it. ये Dr. Ambedkar, who was the chairman of drafting committee, is saying in his last speech in Constituent Assembly 25th November 1949 कि कितना भी अच्छा constitution बना दो, अगर लोग बुरे होंगे तो वो उसको बुरा कर देंगे, लोग अच्छे होंगे तो एक बुरे constitution से भी अच्छी चीजें निकाल लेंगे. Next point you write. In his Grammar of Anarchy speech, Dr. Ambedkar highlighted that in his Grammar of Anarchy speech, Dr. Ambedkar highlighted that tools of civil disobedience and non-cooperation. Grammar of Anarchy speech, Dr. Ambedkar highlighted that tools of civil disobedience and non-cooperation are tools of civil disobedience and non-cooperation are bloody methods of revolution. Tools of civil disobedience and non-cooperation are bloody methods of revolution, and they must pave way for, वो रास्ता देंगे They must pave way for constitutional methods. Constitutional methods. ठीक है? Constitutional methods. Full stop. बुलेट पॉइंट वाइज नेक्स्ट पॉइंट लिखिए. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मेथड एस, मेथड्स. आगे लिखिए. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी ऑल्सो प्रमोट्स, constitutional morality also promotes a balance with societal morality. Constitutional morality also promotes a balance with societal morality. Also promotes a balance with societal morality and a balance with societal morality, and it should be the constitutional morality, balance with societal morality, and it should be the constitutional morality which has an upper hand, should be the constitutional morality which has an upper hand if there is a, which has an upper hand if there is a क्या कॉन्फ्लिक्ट या कोई भी डिफरेंसेस. प्लीज राइट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. यानी अगर समाज ये कहता है कि कंसेंसुअल सेक्स बिटवीन अडल्ट्स ऑफ सेम जेंडर नहीं होना चाहिए, इट शुड नॉट बी देयर, इट इज अ सोसाइटल मोरालिटी. बट व्हाट इज अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी? दैट एवरीबडी हैज राइट टू सेक्सुअल ओरिएंटेशन. अगर दोनों में क्लैश होगा, पहले दे विल ट्राई टू बैलेंस. If they are not able to balance, then what will happen? What will happen? Constitutional morality will win. So you have got the mail now about the extension of the class? Okay, just kidding. So, okay, we will have separation of powers. Okay, we have not even started. Believe me, this is not even trailer. Believe me. So we have not even started. We will have separation of powers. It's a very, very important concept. Then we will be having what you call part 1 of the, we will have preamble, a very beautiful thing. We'll have one entire class, 3 hours on preamble, and then we'll start part 1 of the constitution, that is union and its territory. Okay? So please, we'll meet next time. Have a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye.